Hey, welcome to P.S. Chang's, where the only thing better than the service is the discounted wine. What can I get you all to start with?
Actually, we're just sort of in a rush, so I think we'll just skip to the drinks and go straight to the food. We're starving.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Well, what can I get you?
Well, what do you recommend? Do you guys have any specials happening?
Well, me personally, I really recommend the chicken marsala with lime sauce. It's got a lovely acidity that really pairs nicely with the softness of the chicken. And if you aren't in the mood for chicken, I would highly recommend the house ribeye steak. It's one of our most popular items, and it's actually on sale this evening.
Do you have any human meat on the menu?
I'm sorry? Come again?
Do you have any human meat on the menu?
I don't understand. Is this a joke or something? Am I on a TikTok right now?
No, I mean, we have it on good authority that you guys have the best human meat in the entire town. So we came to see what all the fuss was about.
Yeah, I'm really craving some leg tonight. So if there's any of that on the menu, I'll take that.
One second. Chef, could you come here, please?
Yes. What seems to be the problem here?
No trouble. My friend and I were just wondering if we could get some order of human meat for our dinner.
Yeah, sure. Arm or leg.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we serve human meat here. What's the problem? Don't mind him. He's new to the team here.
What kind of diet are they fed?
Vegetarian. Lots of fruits and veggies.
Is the meat ethically sourced?
Of course.
Excellent. We'll take the leg.
Great. And you, next time someone tells you they want to eat, shut your mouth and take the order. Oh, and one more thing. Would you ladies like your meat pickled or unpickled?
Pickled. Definitely.
Okay, coming right up.
Am I being punked right now?
Listen, buddy, I'm sorry, but could we possibly get a different server? I just don't think I feel like we're being taken adequate care of based on this.
Oh, don't worry. I'll do you one even better. I'm fucking out of this madhouse. And I was never heard from again.
We ate you.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Oh, shit. That's where the bitch should have ended. Hold on. Take it all back. We got to rewrite the script.
Once again, I am greeted with a magnificent bit that I had to stop myself from chuckling in the corner about.
The ethically sourced comment is easily the starred comment in this entire thing. I honestly feel like the entire script was designed just to make that one stupid fucking joke.
As it should be, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
All right.
I will do you the service of reading this long-ass summary I wrote. Save yourself. Okay,
you're going to do the summary this week.
Yes, I'm going to stumble through every word, and I hope everyone's ready.
Okay, are you sure? Are you ready? Do you need like some like back slaps or like some
hold on,
Okay, yep.
I'm
Get
ready.
that water. Clear the throat. Do your maws. Do your maw warm ups.
Ma.
There you go, buddy. All right,
yeah.
take it away.
On
All
this
right,
week's
little too
podcast, we start things off with the conclusion of Gum Gum Balloon versus Garp Cannon, as the Shawhats barely escape the pursuit of Vice Admiral Garp. As the crew gets lost in a dense fog, Luffy leads their way out like a bloodhound on the case, following the scent of some freshly cooked meat. We have arrived at the floating kitchen of the sea, the Baratier. While the crew shares a nice filling meal, we meet an angsty yet surprisingly polite cook named Sanji, along with his hard ass of a head chef Zeff. Say that one 3 times fast. Despite their constant bickering, the two share a powerful bond forged by a long encounter at death's door. Unfortunately, Luffy can't pay off his lofty tab, so he's put to work by washing dishes. But we get a chance to keep up with the antics of drunk Captain Usopp and a little drinking game between Zoro and Nami. The mood quickly sours, however, when Dracule Mihawk, esteemed swordsman and gatekeeper of Zoro's dream, arrives looking for Luffy's head. Zoro intercepts by challenging him to a duel to the death. What precedes is one of the most one-sided ass whoopings in history. With 2 of his swords shattered and his defeat all but pronounced, Zoro turns to Mihawk with his arms and chest wide open, proclaiming, "Swords on the back are a swordsman's shame." He is swiftly struck down. Mihawk abandons his hunt, hoping to run into a stronger Zoro and Luffy in the future. As Zoro is patched up excuse me, I made a typo. I shouldn't be saying this out loud, but here we are. As Zoro is patched up and is recovering from his wounds, the Baratier is invaded by the fearsome fishman, Arlong the Shark, who's also looking for Luffy's head, along with something else that belongs to him. Not willing to risk innocent lives suffering on his behalf, Luffy confronts Arlong. Unfortunately, Luffy proves no match for the fishman's overwhelming strength. 2 inches away from the jaws of death, Nami arrives with the Grand Line map in hand as she reveals she's been a member of the Arlong Pirates all along. Arlong tosses our rubber boy into the sea and leaves with his crew. Things aren't over yet, however. With a resounding sense of conviction, Luffy sets sail to retrieve his precious navigator with the help of a recovering Zoro, a hungover Usopp, and the crew's new cook, Sanji. And once again, as a bonus for this set of episodes, we've got a different guests for each of our recordings, meaning we get a nice variety of opinions, which should provide a much needed insight to the overall One Piece community. So let's introduce this week's guests. We first have Pandaview alumni and head of our legal department, Poupée. And second, but certainly not least, we have our resident Sanji expert and YouTube content creator with a voice fit for radio, Lordlook. Welcome, ladies. Lovely to have you both here tonight. So, are you ready to talk about Sanji?
I'm always ready.
I'm so ready. Thank you for that introduction. I don't know if I agree with that, but thanks.
Are you telling us
what's
you're not a
to agree
YouTube
with?
content creator? Like,
Yeah, is there something in there that's wrong? I mean, it can't be the radio part.
Are you
'cause
on
that's-
Instagram?
That's a guarantee. Did we forget some social plugs? Or
Yeah, you forgot my Instagram.
son of a bitch! All right, we run it all back. Start it from the top. We got to make sure we get Lordlook's Instagram in there.
God, I knew I missed something when I was writing this.
Oh boy, I for one, I'm pumped for this recording. So this one's a little different from our normal release schedule. This one we actually did 2 episodes, and we still have 2 guests for this evening, both of which centered around Sanji. And my first question to our 2 guests here: do you have a positive or negative opinion of our boy Sanji on average?
Like in
Do you
the
mean-
live action or in the series as a whole?
Are you Sanji fans or not? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Oh, you're trying
I
to
feel
out my
like-
bias.
Just like I mean, if we're talking Sanji in general, any Sanji, I feel like my feelings on him are like as complex as the character. I do love him, but I mean, obviously, I have problems with his character, and I have a lot of problems with his character in this live action that I've been very. I've expressed some of that in the Discord, the Panasonics Discord, and yeah.
Okay, and you, Pooh, are you a pro Sanji general fan? Well, minus live action. We take live action off the table for a moment.
So I mean, he's my favorite character. That comes with a lot of caveats. So when you say Sanji is your favorite character, I think I'm pretty much in agreement with Lookie about, I really like him. I think he's got a lot of depth and like is very well fleshed out. But there is just some things about him, very shonen tropes that can't ignore.
All right. Well, before we dive into the nitty gritty of our boy and the narrative choices that was the live action of these sets of episodes and our opinions on that. So did the 2 of you, have you seen the entire season up till, or at this point?
Yes.
Or have you,
Yeah.
have you only, okay, so you both have seen it. Okay,
I
perfect.
skipped. I gotta be completely honest. I skipped some plot lines. Like some towards the end, I was like, no, I don't want to see Garp anymore. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to see him.
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I couldn't.
Oh,
I was like, I
no.
just want to see how they did, the story.
I
Yeah.
watched the whole
interesting.
thing. I will say I had a watch party for the first 2 episodes, and I made a lot of drinky drinks. So I don't remember the second episode super well, but I did watch the whole thing. The rest I watched the day after. I watched it like pretty much all in one sitting. It was Labor
Gotcha.
Day weekend. What can you do? But watch
Yeah, I
when
mean, Labor Day weekend. I mean, what else is
Yeah.
there to do?
I like pretty much watched all of them. I don't remember a lot of it because I had to rewatch these 2 episodes today because it was like a month ago. But I did watch it all.
Gotcha. Okay, so we are dealing with 2 individuals that have seen the entire thing. I believe Justin and I are still. Well, I don't know about Justin, but myself,
No,
I
definitely.
still
I'm watching week to week, just like regular One Piece. I'm committed.
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
are?
We have
Yes.
we have still not seen the final 2 episodes. We are only at this part, which is why I've been avoiding the Discord so much because I know you guys have been going off about it in the spoiler section.
I can't help but
try-
spoil myself no matter how hard I try. There's
I mean,
always something I
the-
can't resist.
The reason I watched it all in like 2 days was because I can't not have notifications on my Discord, and I was like, don't go in the spoiler chat. Don't go in the spoiler chat. And I was like, I can't live like this. I have to just watch it all.
That was me.
Literally, the one time I've been in the spoiler chat, I saw Lordlook giving like a giant like paragraph response to her opinions on, and I'm like, fuck. Or actually, it wasn't even about Sanji. It was also about like your opinions on maybe potentially what Matt Owen's inspiration for like the storyboarding was during the Baratier arc, and like where some of his thought process was. But I only got like the first sentence in when I was like, save that for the cast, and I also don't want to spoil myself.
That was me earlier today. I dipped my toes into the chat. So I was like, you know what? Spoilers be damned. I can't stop myself. I made like one comment because I just couldn't contain it. And that one comment is, my boy Zoro finally smiled. They gave life to this character, and I could not be happier about it.
God, dude, I'm just like, can I be... I'm going to be that guy. You can't make him smile once and then have me just forgive everything. Like, I still don't feel like they've given him any personality yet. And that makes me a little sad.
I don't know. I feel like
When did he smile, by the way? Was it during the dinner scene?
It
right?
was during the dinner when they were giving Nami shit after getting hit on by Sanji.
I felt like in that moment they were finally giving this guy some character.
I
felt
agree that I could finally feel like anything coming off this guy other than like every edgelord in middle school that thinks that he's a badass. I get it, but
I feel like
please don't stop here.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
don't stop.
Go ahead.
feels,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't know. Him and Nami have the same manner of speaking. They both like, yeah, you know, Zoro, we have a lot of baggage, you and I. And it's like, I don't know why they're speaking like that. I don't have anything against the actors. I think they all seem like so passionate and they worked really hard and I respect them. But I don't know. I just don't like the delivery of their
I do agree with that.
characters.
It's interesting you put Nami on that camp. I actually would say that Nami is on my short list of good versions. But am I sexist? Maybe I'm just sexist. Maybe I can't look past. I just see Nami and I'm always in.
I have some
Say it with your
qualms
chest.
with Nami, and I don't know if it's the actress and her acting ability or the way she's written. Like I'm gonna assume it's the way she's written. I don't want to be like she's a bad actress, but I do have some qualms with Nami and most of it. But I'll get into that when we discuss the episode.
All right. Well, I know I want to hear predominantly both of yours opinions on this because I am not a Sanji expert. So I think, and Justin, you can also feel free. I'm going to just say one thing that I like that they did in this, and it's probably going to be not the only, but a soft W for them at the very least. And it could have been done much better. Luffy did not ask Sanji to join until after he saw him feed a dying dude. That's like a small W, but I don't think they executed it like they should have, or like they could have, via what the anime or the manga tried to I guess inspire for the audience or whatever.
Oh boy.
So that was one
Yeah.
thing I did make of note.
Do I have so many things written about the importance of Jin and why I'm really annoyed that was not there?
Can we just talk about that? I feel like they got it all backwards in some way because Luffy saw him fight first. First of all, he's good fighter, that was the first thing. And then he took a liking to Sanji after that. And then he found out that he's a good cook, right? He tasted his food. And finally, the last thing he discovers is that he's a good person. It's not oh, you're a good person, you're my cook. That's it. You're mine. I want you. Okay, that sounded really not how I wanted to say it.
No. We all know what you meant. Don't worry. Go ahead.
And but here it's oh, he took a liking to him, and that was the final, the thing that made him decide. So I don't like that because I wonder because I feel like Oda wrote that so deliberately, that Luffy only knew Sanji from one thing, that he fed Jin, and that is it. So I don't know if they just ignored that and thought it wasn't important, or that they genuinely didn't understand how important that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the way they wrote it is instead of giving us this random character with a little bit of angst or whatever, and present the good side to our primary protagonist, which is what originally inspires him, we kind of get spoon-fed the other cool parts of his character, which is just reinforcing the idea that maybe Luffy would want to invite this guy, where it's almost instead of just being because Luffy is just this, I guess he's a good people person, he can read nice people, he's not immediately asking this nice guy to join the crew. He's seeing this genuinely valuable asset who happens to be a nice guy, and then is presenting the question as such. I can kind of see how that could be a bit less meaningful than if Luffy was just oh, hey, you fed that starving guy. I like that. You're cool. Join me. Come on the boat, please. Get on the boat.
He even says in the manga, he's you're a good cook. Join me, before he tastes his food. So a good cook to him is a person who feeds anyone. It goes understated. So it's it's definitely a bit backwards, I would say.
What did you guys think of the way that they went about Gin?
Oh my God.
In the live, because
Gin wasn't even a character.
I have so many
for the
thoughts.
people listening, I just want to inform them who Gin was. So the guy who was starving, that got fed. First of all, I mean the costume was spot on, so it really was him, I guess. But in a throwaway fight with Mihawk, the weird blue-haired guy named Krieg, Geen was supposed to be on his second in command, and Krieg was attacking the Baratie during the anime, manga, whatever. And Sanji did still feed Geen, but that entire plot line just gets completely lost because this random schmuck who we're just like expected to know is Geen, I guess, it just randomly shows up and goes like, "I'm starving, feed me," and then I don't know, his scene lasts all of like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, what was your guys' opinion?
I want to say, like, all of this I understand. Like, everything I'm about to say in this entire episode, I understand is colored by the fact that I have canon knowledge. Like, I have knowledge of the original source material. And, like, maybe if I had never seen the original source material, I'd be like, this is fine. But I think, like, the removal of the Don Krieg plot in general is just so not good. Because the whole point of Geen, in my opinion, is he's kind of like a mirror to, like, Sanji and Sanji's relationship with Zeff, whereas Geen has this relationship with Don Krieg where he wants to like help Don Krieg fulfill his dream to the detriment of like his morals and like his own life. And Sanji has this exact same thing with Zeff. And we didn't get any of this because we didn't have this the Baratie like really being like destroyed, and like Sanji is really risking his life because he feels that he has to protect this restaurant. And like I can go into like all of that later if we want to talk about just like the issues I had with like Sanji is outgrown the restaurant. Not a fan of that. I'll get into that later. But I think that Geen is just very important because he's like a mirror of what Sanji could become if he like continues to chain himself to this restaurant. And the removal of that, and I understand why they would remove it because it doesn't really like push the plot forward. It's better to have Arlong come because like that's the overarching narrative we're heading towards. And like the show is obviously not about Sanji. But like as someone who finds this arc this was like the first arc that I ever really like. I was like, when I started watching One Piece, I was like Googling when does One Piece get good? Like I was not a fan of the previous arcs that much. And then I got to the Baratie and I was like, this is good. And the fact that they watered it down so much and like removed all of the like important stuff just makes me so upset. And like I think Geen and Don Krieg are like very vital to showing us like why Sanji doesn't want to join Luffy's crew and why it's so important to get him on the crew.
I agree.
That's a very nuanced take that covers pretty much my entire thoughts of where I felt with Geen. I think in my mind, I feel satisfied with the fact that they chose to write Krieg out in lieu of having Arlong in. But like you said, they didn't have a replacement for like that internal struggle where Sanji and Zeff are a reflection, or rather Sanji in the restaurant, I guess, are a reflection of Krieg and Geen in this sense, where Sanji needs to find or break away from these shackles in order to like find like a sense of like freedom and, you know, or I guess meaning that go beyond his current where he is right now. But yeah. I felt like it was kind of lost on what Geen, on the lack of Geen, I guess. And it was cool to have him, but like
I also think like this could have been accomplished if they had Sanji watch Zoro fight Mihawk too, because like in the manga, when Sanji watches Zoro fight Mihawk, he's like, why are you doing this? It's so easy to abandon your dream. And like maybe if they had put that back in, because Sanji wasn't even there for the fight, like that could have kind of expressed this like Sanji has given up on his dream and that's why he won't leave. But they just didn't do that. And they just cut all of that. And they were like, oh, Sanji just wants to cook things that aren't on the menu. This is the most cliche plot I've ever seen about any restaurant ever.
So I have thoughts on the Zoro fight with Sanji as well. But before, Matilda, do you have any also novel thoughts about the way that they used Geen in this set of episodes?
I just want to like continue what Poupée said about the removal of Don Krieg because as you said, like it's not about Sanji, you know, and it's about the plot. That's my issue with this whole live action is that it's like they made it for plot reasons and not to serve any characters. Like it's like the characters came in second in everything, and that really pisses me off, to be honest, because to me, like the reason I love One Piece and I think the reason it's so successful is because of the characters and like how great Oda is at creating these human characters that just feel so human. I don't know. No. And it's just so. Just removing all the traits, I'll get to that, but like removing all the traits that make them so special and just kind of And I have a theory on why they changed Sanji's personality so much is because they simply didn't have that time to show us this sort of anger issues and the complicated mess that is Sanji's personality, because then we'd have to focus this arc on Sanji, and this arc is made like a stepping stone like for the next arc. Basically, this isn't like the Baratier arc at all, and that's my main criticism. Like, I guess this is not about Jin, but I just want to say like I feel like the whole approach was wrong when they sort of made the show because One Piece is famously like the most slow-paced story in history. So why on earth would you turn that into this format of a TV show? Like, why not turn it into like, I want to say like almost an anthology series where you actually like zoom in on one island and have a plot for 2 episodes, kind of like they did with Syrup Village.
Yeah.
But without the marine stuff, without the constant cutting back and forth, and just focusing on and like trusting that story instead of like, we need to cut to the Marines and we need to have this and that. It feels like, I don't know, a YouTuber who's like cutting, over editing their videos. Like, look at this. Oh my God, we can't lose the audience. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
agree.
I want to
focus on trust Oda's story. Everyone keeps saying like, oh my God, it's so true to the source material, respectful to the source. And like, I don't think it is.
Like, I want to say
so over. Yeah.
Overall, I thought the show was good. Like, I think you forgot to ask us this question, so sorry. But like, I thought the show was good. I just had a lot of issues with these episodes, and I also thought that Sierra Village was super boring. But that's beside the point. We're not talking about that.
Wow.
But I thought the show
live action or anime?
Both. they made they made the anime more boring somehow. But we're talking about these episodes. But I overall I thought the show was good. But like, I agree with what Lookie was saying. Like they made this show so that it would appeal to Americans, and it's extremely obvious in the like dialogue, in the B plot that is so unnecessary, like in the like structuring of everything. And I think that if they had like trusted that the material itself would like carry it, it might be like great. Like, I think it's fine, but I don't think it's revolutionary. I don't think it's like life changing. Like, I just like, I think it's fine.
I think it's fine as a show, I guess, but as a One Piece adaptation, I don't think it's good. I honestly even think it's kind of sucks. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
I respect all of these opinions. And I want to go back to the Geen thing because I can understand the logic or the thinking of like the Don Krieg plot line does really... If I'm a show writer for this series, right? And I go like, Don Krieg fight, who gives a shit about it, right? I could agree with that in a vacuum. But as Poupée and you have mentioned, there's a lot that gets lost when you cut out that plot line. Aside from the Sanji plot lines or the effects on Sanji from that, what I kind of missed out on, because I actually really liked it as I thought about it, was Luffy and Don Krieg in the anime and manga have a fight. And for me, I think that fight between those two really gives Luffy a chance to show off his, not just fighting prowess, but like his grit. Like, in the source material, Don Krieg has like needled, spiky armor, which, Luffy is naturally weaker to stabby damage as opposed to blunt force. So when you see Luffy just, unwavering in his attack on a guy who could easily hurt him as he hurt, or, Luffy throws a punch and he hurts himself, that kind of thing, just watching him power through that kind of adversity, I think that adds to the story. I also find it helpful in terms of like introducing Mihawk into the scene. But that's just my opinion. But back to, there's a lot lost on Sanji where, all the things you said, I don't want to rehash too much of it. But yeah, I think Sanji's character gets really watered down. I think a lot is lost. Like, as mentioned, there's like criticisms about Sanji's character in the source material, and they're all valid. And I probably agree and pitchfork for most of them. But like Poupée said, like, it leads to a complex character. And as Lookie said, One Piece it has a great story, but the story hasn't truly like exploded until like, halfway through, in my opinion, and many others. What pushes One Piece to be this great piece of fiction is just how awesome these characters are. Like, you don't like this character? We got another character for you. It's either a Straw Hat or some random goon on some random island that will introduce for an arc and then, maybe see down the road. There's just so many good characters. These characters are constantly being built upon and developed and fleshed out. and it's awesome. And I agree with the criticism of, the show is clearly made more so for an American audience or Western audience. And the hope was, or so we think, is that the plot line or the bigger picture of One Piece is what's going to encapsulate a different type of audience demographic as opposed to really rich and compelling character narratives. And I think that's my time.
Mm-hmm. I think something that Christian said last week. So, and I will say, Pooh, I kind of liked some of the changes they made for Sura Village because I don't know, Slasher Kuro kind of slapped a little bit. I'm going to give him that W. I'm just saying. Anyway, something that Christian said last week that didn't really sink in for me, at least not as much, but I really felt it in these eps was Usopp. Even though it was his arc to be invited to the crew, his narrative and his development took a backseat to the other characters that were happening in the arc. And in my mind, I was like, I don't inherently agree with that in total. And simultaneously, I think I'm giving the live action show a little bit of credit, saying like, well, as long as they have, time to work with these characters, maybe like as long as they have like available chemistry and screen time for them in the future, they can always continue to like adapt and expand and like actually give these, really fun and compelling characters like more human traits or whatever. So I don't like beat it over the head that I demand seeing like certain parts of their character get fleshed out at the beginning as soon as we're introduced to them. But Sanji's a little different. I feel like the only part of his character that we really got, and it wasn't even, and we didn't even like get like the whole, like the real complexity was that he feels like he owes his life to Zeff. And through specifically the lack of Gin, we don't really get like the mirror with like Gin and Krieg. But the thing that really kind of bugged me was when, and I know Pooh already mentioned it, when Sanji wasn't present for the duel between Mihawk and Zoro, they took the part that Sanji needed there. Sanji really was the character that needed the push or like the image of like, it's time to, or because he wanted Zoro to back out. He was like, dude, just like live your life. Like you got so much left to live for. Like, why the fuck would you throw it all away for this right here? And instead they put that on Nami, which like, I don't hate, I guess, but you've now made Sanji so much more reduced and you've taken away a very critical part of what really drove him to get on the boat in the first place.
I don't understand his decision at all.
I don't really get it. What they did was they're trying to really, I think, reinforce the upcoming narrative with Nami, which like, okay, I understand that. But we've taken, it's like we've reduced Gin and we've reduced the duel for Sanji. So we've taken two of the three most important like character parts of his personality when we're first introduced to him, completely threw them off the table. So now all we have left is this cool guy who can cook and, is like willing to make food for people.
Yeah, the way I see it. Oh, sorry.
No. Go on.
Oh, I just feel like this show is very like, it's about Nami. Like, that's how I kind of feel this season is very much about Nami, which I don't mind, except for the fact that we're on these episodes that are not supposed to be about Nami.
Right, yeah, like that's where I'm at.
Can I just say something about the introduction scene where Sanji comes up to the Straw Hats? Like, the first time he meets the Straw Hats. So, like,
oh, please tell me you didn't hate it, because I didn't hate it.
I hated it, because the thing is... No! Listen.
I thought it was okay. I just want to say that.
Go ahead.
And I'm just going to talk about, and I hate doing this, but I am going to talk about the anime scene just because the thing is, both these scenes have the exact same setup, right? Like, it's the same scene. Sanji comes up to the Straw Hats and, he meets them for the first time and they order food or whatever. And both of these scenes are like 1 minute long. So it's like, it's not about time. Like, some argument that I often see is like, oh my God, they didn't have enough time. They did what they could with the little time they had with the characters, whatever. But this scene, the only thing in the live action that they do is make a joke about Nami and like how Nami is the way that Sanji treats her, basically.
I agree.
So he walks up to the table and he's like, madam, what do you want, madam? And Zoro, I think it's Zoro who teases her. And then the rest of the crew sort of laughs. And Nami's like, you guys are the worst. And then they zoom in on all their faces. And it's supposed to be this wholesome moment where Nami is like, realizing that these guys are the best, basically. I don't know. But this scene is not, it's not about like introducing Sanji to the crew. It's more about like turning it into a wholesome Nami moment. Whereas in the manga anime, this scene is so freaking amazing. Like, I don't know if you know it by heart like I do, but
I do not know it by heart, to be fair. Go on.
Where so Sanji walks up to the Straw Hats. He's like serving someone wine, and he's like, "Hey, hold this." When he sees Nami laughing, he's like, "Hold this. I need to see this woman." And he goes into his, I don't know, twirling rose in his mouth, pathetic behavior.
Yeah,
and
he does. He lays it on thick.
He lays it on thick, and Nami's immediately sees her chance. She's like manipulating him, and each character in this scene, we see every dynamic that the Straw Hat has. So we see like Nami and Sanji, obviously. Usopp and Sanji, because Usopp gets pissed when Nami gets food for free, right? So he's like, "Hey, get him, Zoro." And Zoro's like, "Get him yourself." So we get the Usopp and Zoro dynamic as well.
Yeah,
and
I know what you're saying.
All of this happens in 1 minute, and we feel like Sanji fits with the crew after these interactions. And like, yeah, and in live action, it's just like, Sanji's just a waiter who just comes up like, "Hey, sir, what do you want?" And he's not even biting back.
Okay.
Oh,
no. Yeah. I don't want to cut you off if you're still going.
I just wanted to say one more thing. That the joke, that Sanji's joke, to me, the funny part is not the simping thing. I mean, the funny part is that he immediately turns to a male character and says, like, "Fuck you." Like, in 1
And we
second.
don't get that. And that honestly, it made me a little sad. I like it. Maybe someone could argue it's annoying. Sure, whatever. I'm not exactly of that opinion. I think it adds to his character. Just being like, any man in existence, fuck off. Any woman that ever existed ever, what can I do for you?
Yeah. So when I say I liked,
Go ahead,
I thought
no,
the scene
please.
was okay. I meant like the way that they tackled his simping in terms of like, when I first watched this episode, I had to drink a beer before I watched it because I was so worried about what we were going to get with the way that Sanji acts. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, everyone knows.
Yeah.
Like, I was saying, like, I don't know if I can watch this. I might have to like explode from embarrassment. Like, this might be so awful. And it wasn't. But like, I thought the dialogue was kind of funny and cute. I did not like that the more I think about it, like, I also felt what Lookie was saying, where it's like, this is a scene about establishing like the group dynamics between the existing Straw Hats and not Sanji. And I thought it was really forced and awkward. I will say, I also just like the introduction we get to Sanji is like, he's like, what's his face? Iron Fist, I think that's his name, the pink-haired dude, is like about to start a fight.
Yeah.
And Sanji goes, "No fighting in the Baratier." And I'm like,
"Oh my God,
what are you talking? You're the fighting cooks. Like what are you talking about? I was like,
I have a theory. I have a theory about that.
Like,
Why did they do
obviously,
that?"
like, they cut like all the waiters and they cut the Don Creek fight, but I was just like, what?
And I want to add one other thing to that criticism. Sanji not being mad about food being thrown on the floor rubbed me the wrong
my
way.
God.
That is such a incredible part of his character.
When Zeff put the whatever the fuck Sanji made, he put it in the like dirty dish pile. I was like, what? What?
I don't even think Zeff would ever do that
Yeah.
in source material, let alone Sanji not being upset about it.
I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
I noticed that part too and thought the same thing. Go ahead, Matilda. Sorry.
No, I'm not going to go into the whole conspiracy, but I just feel like they removed this theme so completely that I just wonder, there has to be a reason. Like, they cut it from his backstory too, like the food waste thing, and
Oh my God,
the reason they built the Baratier, the reason they built the restaurant, and the fight thing. Just want to quickly mention, like, the fact that the Baratier is turned into this like no fighting, it's a kind of a VIP place. Like, the Baratier has a meaning, a purpose. And the fact that they turned it into the opposite thing, that's what bothers me. Like, the purpose of the Baratier is that it's a place where like these cooks were they were fired from other restaurants because they were starting fights. Like, I think it's Patty
a little
who
too
says,
rough around the edges.
Yeah, Patty who says, like, we were fired from every other place, but here on the Baratier, this is our home. And that's why they fight so hard, in against Don Krieg too, because they want to protect, like, essentially their home, which this completely just removes the meaning of.
And you actually, I didn't even think about that with like the whole, it's so like classy and stuff, because they cut this from the back. They cut so many things from the backstory that pissed me off, but they cut the scene where Zeff says, like, I wish we had a restaurant that was floating in the middle of the sea for people
That
like
is the
us.
most important thing.
Which is like, that's how Sanji is like, oh, this is the dream I have to protect because Zeff's dream is to have a restaurant that is floating in the middle of the sea. And they cut that.
Yeah, his backstory. I mean, I got an entire
I have an
essay on
entire
that, but,
essay about like they cut him throwing out the food and then like, oh my God. I will say though, I loved Zeff's little like when he like raids the ship, he's got like a machine gun like bullet thing, but it's all spicy.
That was so funny. My
That was
head is that Zeff and whatever his pirate crew is called, they just go around pillaging pirate ships, not to like steal gold. They just go around seasoning everyone's food because they all know it's shit, and that's awesome.
Dude, that was actually a good bit. I did like that. And he goes into like the cafeteria or the kitchen or whatever, and he goes like, oh yeah, look at this.
This is pretty good. Needs oregano.
Coriander. Or oregano or whatever
Don't
it
get
was.
me started on
like,
that
oregano's for savages.
Oh my God, I hated that line so much. It was
I don't mind it.
What's
I
wrong
like
with
Kid
it?
Sanji.
It's such an obvious, like, this is a line that's going to make people laugh line that it made me angry because I was like, this line was put in there to that make people laugh because they were like, this is a thing that like, it's quippy and I don't like that.
Damn, I think my monkey brain is just bad.
No,
I wonder if it's
I'm down for
something
monkey
about-
brain energy.
I think I'm just a hater.
Is it from the SBS or something where Sanji says something about that? Because I feel like it could be apparently like the showrunners and people, on this project, they looked through the SBS stuff and look for like character facts and like trivia. And I quote, to get some emotional grounding with the characters. And I was like, wait, SBS, like the things in SBS sections are there because they're not important, right? They're literally not in the story because they're not important to the characters. But they're like, the fans will love this. Usopp's favorite food is not mushrooms. The fans are going to love hearing this. Like,
not important to Oda and his story writing, but important to a fan who wrote in about it.
Listen, I have to know that Sanji's animal is a duck. It's very important to me to know that if Sanji was an animal, he would be a duck.
That is in fact important.
I mean, I think that it's cool that they went through the SBS to like, get like fun little tidbits, but it definitely should not be a primary driving force in the emotional complexities of what compels your main cast of characters.
I feel like it genuinely was, because I'm trying to look through these interviews and like I try to find what the process was for the writing because I'm so confused about these choices. And the more I look into it, the more I kind of realize like they did not really, I don't know, they went, I don't know, they focused on the wrong things in my opinion.
That's
I think they're just, Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I think that they like, no, Brendan, you say what you're going to say because, like, my thing is stupid.
I think that in general, my overall thoughts is that there are just choices they made. Like, I am all for, cutting, like, parts of content or even repurposing content to serve other characters as long as you don't lose out on a very primary driving force in a major character. Like, there has to be, like, if you're going to relinquish some of those aspects, there has to be a compromise somewhere else, right? Like, or something has to be like elevated in excess.
Yeah.
I actually now that you mentioned the first introductory scene between them, because I actually enjoyed that scene. I would say because what they lead with it was, and this is like maybe bare minimum for like my personal enjoyment because I'm not thinking too in depth about like the emotional necessities of like what makes Sanji an interesting guy and what makes him like really need to like want to be a part of the crew. He leads by being like, what the fuck can I get you? The only thing worse than this place the only thing worse than the food here's the service, because he's in a bad fucking mood. But then as soon as he starts talking with Nami, I did kind of like that he threw on some charm, and I didn't hate that they were giving her shit for it. However, there's a lot to be said for you don't get an image of who they are individually as characters. You only really get an opportunity for them to very, like, I guess, haphazardly give each other shit because they're still, like, trying to, like, find, I don't know, a certain amount of, like, friendship or respect for one another because they've just all randomly gotten on a boat and started sailing the seas.
Yeah, I think that, like...
you don't see them.
Yeah, I see, like, the biggest issue I have with this is, like, Zoro and Nami, where it's, like,
really?
They're trying to, like, establish, like, because the timeline of One Piece is bonkers in that like so much shit takes place in like 2 weeks. So I understand that like realistically, like you wouldn't be best friends with like all these people that you just met. But they have this like scene where they're like, oh, like we're gonna put some like Zoro and Nami like friendship dynamics together, and they're like trying to like out angst each other, and it's just
Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's so uncomfortable and like so not true to either of their characters. But like they're trying to like make these like friendship scenes, and they're just so awkward. And I don't know. I find like a lot of the cast interaction really awkward with one another.
I disagree. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. You can disagree with me.
No, I interrupted. I interrupted your thought. Finish your thought before I disagree with you.
Oh, my whole thought was I just find like a lot of it very awkward.
So I will say my disagreement is on the portrayal of Zoro and Nami. I assume particularly you're talking about their little drinking game they do on the Baratier. I disagree because I believe it falls in line with their characters, because I do think at this time period, Zoro would look at Nami as like a know-it-all in the sense of Zoro would approach her as if like he's got it all figured out, and Nami would clearly like in the back of her mind is like, you don't know shit about me. And I think in this drinking game that we see in the live action, there is like a crumb of genuine portrayal of Nami's like true self that she's constantly hiding, right? But with a little bit of like disingenuousness, where she's like, okay, here's a little bit of the truth, but also I'm mixing in some lies or something to that effect. And I think that's how the characters in the source material would also behave. And I actually really enjoyed, the direction that this scene takes, where like, they're just trying to kind of bond, but then like a couple minutes later, Zoro kind of points out like, listen, you say you don't have any friends. We both know we were kind of like shooting the shit, and one of us wasn't being totally honest. I don't know. I liked it.
I can see that.
At the risk of being put at the stake by our guests, I also think I kind of liked the scene where Nami and Zoro were having a drinking game talking about, well, you don't fucking know me. Well, I don't fucking know you. I find that it's okay that they are trying to like find ways to like give these characters like more chemistry with one another and like build their relationships like in front of us. Like that's really what they need at this point, because in a lot of ways they speed run entire arcs so that I don't actually feel like they have any fucking chemistry. So in having these small scenes, I can be here for it. But I think that they've gone so far. Like in these set of episodes, I might even say that Zoro got more development than Sanji.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that just feels weird to me, to be perfectly honest.
I agree with like both of you. I think that it's not terrible, the drinking scene, but it's really extremely funny to me when they both sit down and they watch Usopp dance, like he's dancing and he's drunk, and they're like,
he's having a fun time. And
Usopp is mean, honestly.
He's so uncomplicated, and we're so angsty and complicated. We had so much baggage. Like, it just feels so funny that they're trying to, I don't know who said that, but they're trying to out-edge each other. And,
they are trying to out-edge each other, though, in that scene.
And I feel like my interpretation of Zoro is he is not a complicated dude, and he doesn't think that he has like a dark, mysterious past.
No.
Like, he's just a guy that wants to
just
fight
a guy.
people.
Like, he's just so laid back. I don't know. I feel like they got his character all wrong.
That's
he
why
feels
I
nothing
think,
like Zoro to me.
That's like why I think this scene bothered me so much. I just can't imagine. Like, I could imagine them like shooting the shit with each other. But like Zoro is just like, I don't remember how the scene went. He was like, oh, like, I bet you don't know anything about me, blah, 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 blah.
You know what? I think you've nailed. I think that is what I wish I had for that scene, is instead of it was trying to out angst each other, if they were fucking teasing each other, you don't even have to change the script or like, change it like a little bit to just be like, yeah, I think I know exactly who you are, actually, be perfectly honest with you. Like give them some like chauvinistic like attitude or something. And then she'll be like, come again? Do what makes you think you have any idea who the fuck I am? And then they do the exact same thing. They'd play the exact same game. They just like, they want to be these like dark and brooding characters so bad. And I'm just like, but why? Be fun. Just like,
we're in One Piece. Like,
it's like, yeah, the only character who's allowed to be genuinely funny and have fun is Luffy and maybe Usopp. But Usopp doesn't do much, so I can't even, I don't even know. But that's kind of sucks because all these characters are funny, and I feel like that was, I don't know.
Like, I feel
they
like
should have written funnier scenes.
Yeah, I feel like what they got from One Piece is like the world of One Piece is very dark and upsetting, but it's presented in such a goofy light. and they didn't match that properly, where they're like, okay, we have like sad things that happen, and like these characters have experienced bad things. And in the real world, yeah, they probably would be a lot like this. But in the world of One Piece, like that all takes up their backseat to like the adventure and the like I want to say a word that's not goofy, but I can't think of one. Just like the silliness and absurdity of the world that they inhabit. And like the show is very serious, and like it's fine. Like I said, I liked it. Like I had a good time watching the whole series. I will, like, the last 2 episodes, which you guys haven't watched, I very much enjoyed. And they like kind of made me like the whole thing as a whole. But like there's just something like that. I just don't think this needs to exist, because I don't like think that things that are animated should be put into live action.
Yeah,
because
there is that. It is really hard to give a pass on anime live action stuff.
It's just like the reason it's animated is because there's like certain things that don't look good in live action, or that like we suspend our disbelief because these characters are goofy and they don't actually look like human beings, you know, like with like Mary, like Mary actually looked fine in this live action, but I just like
actually Mary looked okay.
Yeah, Mary looked fine. That was a bad example, but like there is just so many like weird looking characters, and it's very uncomfortable, like especially in this restaurant scene, like the pink haired dude looks so out of place, because they don't make all the other characters look goofy and weird. They're just like, oh, that's an Easter egg character, so we're gonna dress him up funny so that you can be like, that's whatever his name was, Full Body.
Full Body is actually a funny character in the manga. He's genuinely made me laugh with his expressions, that he's like scared shitless of Sanji. Like he's a funny character, and his attitude and everything. Here, he didn't even have a personality.
But it's just like,
did he even have lines?
No,
other than just like,
but it's
barely.
It's just like he stood out so much because he had a really shitty wig on.
Yeah,
and maybe that really shitty wig wouldn't look that shitty if like all the other characters also looked goofy and silly, but like they don't transfer very well into live action. Like it's just not good.
Can I just say something about like the goofy aspects and like the personalities, basically?
Yes,
I see this argument that you can't have Sanji be as hot-headed because that, you know, he would seem too insane for live action, or you can't have Nami be goofy or manipulative. You can't have that and that and that, this and that. And I'm like, have you seen a sitcom in your life? Like, characters can be extremely exaggerated to the point where it's like a caricature and still be grounded if the writing is good. And you can still even have serious moments in like a sitcom that's like over the top crazy. And One Piece is literally, and I say this all the time, but like, it is a comedy. So why are you writing it as this other thing? Why aren't you writing it as a comedy? And I don't know. I feel like they should have respected that thing more and just realized how funny One Piece is. Genuinely one of the funniest shows of all time. So,
it do be fucking silly though. I think that these sets specifically really reinforce that I have lost a little too much of the casual laissez-faire nature of the primary cast, because like I feel like in a show like One Piece, the goal is to have like very upsetting narratives, or like, you know, very somewhat intense plot lines, but at the end of the day, a lot of the time they're also a little fucking goofy in their own right. But for the most part, it's presented in a way that's like intense or whatever. But the shining spot is always the primary cast. They're always doing something to like keep everyone's spirits up. And in this set, everything just felt very brooding and very, especially like when they started spending a lot of time on Luffy and Yaki's Luffy or whatever, trying to come up with like what it means to be a captain. I'm not saying that's a bad message to have at this point in the series. I don't know if the execution of him trying to figure out what food to give Zoro while he's unconscious was like a worthwhile scene. If I'm really going to be honest, that didn't feel like the captain decision making moment that we needed to really reinforce to our primary guy here.
I feel like in a more comedic scenario, that's a banger line. In a dramatic scene, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, I think if he would have just doubled down and been like, well, you got to act like a captain. You know what I mean? And then he just like, he thinks about it and he's like, we need rice balls. That's his favorite fucking meal. And then you just like, don't even like respond to it or something maybe. Like even like that. And then he just like walks away. He's like, I know what I have to do. I've done it. I've become captain. Give him, I don't know. Give us an opportunity to find moments of like alleviation or like, you know, fun, in addition to like all of the brooding that you're trying to reinforce in the writing right now up till this point. I feel like is now my new biggest criticism. Everything feels like, if it's not edgy, it's brooding. with no like fun. I'm missing the fun.
Well,
my fun is gone.
It's like even when, and like I'm getting things out of order, but it's like, so like when Luffy asks Sanji to join the crew in the anime, in the manga, in the anime, it's funny because Sanji says no, and then or he says I refuse, and then Luffy says I refuse your refusal, and like it's Sanji's all brooding and edgy about this because like, and he's like, because he's got like all this stuff on his mind, and like we don't get anything like that when Sanji is like talking about his past and whatever. He's just like, this bad thing happened to me, and like this is why you need to be a captain. And there's like so many opportunities where they can like they're like where there could be comedic things happening that like is included in the manga and they just don't do it.
It's
I'm gonna
like
say this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna say this one quick thing that we've basically already said, but I'm gonna be more pronounced about it. Sanji is too nice in this adaptation, and it kind of bothers me.
For sure.
That's my time.
I mean, he's like nice, but like he had a little bit of attitude.
He only has an attitude towards Zeff, and honestly, nearly nobody else.
Who doesn't have that towards a parent? Like, you know.
I will say, and I think this is also a byproduct of the fact that we just don't get enough Sanji. So that is my primary complaint.
No, I think that we get enough Sanji. Sorry, you can go on.
I was just gonna say, I genuinely think I like Taz's portrayal so far. Am I the villain here?
I love Taz. I support
Taz.
Taz. I think he's a sweet guy. But I think that they even had with the scenes that they do have, Poupée, as you said, with when the joining of or when Luffy asks if Sanji wants to join. Or wait, the first time Sanji and Luffy speak, like really have a conversation, he like spills out his dream about the All Blue. Like that is really, I think it's the first conversation they have. Yeah. And that is like really strange to me because as you said in the manga anime, Sanji's like refusing and he's very like brooding about it and he's not giving a reason. He makes it a point that Luffy should listen to him, that he doesn't have to tell him why. He's just like, I'm going to work here. That's it. But here in the live action, he's like, he kind of gives away that he wants to leave and that he wants to find the All Blue and that he wants to like, that he has this dream. And it really bothers me that he just tells him his dream. What reason does he have to spill that out? Like, to a guy he just met 5 seconds ago. And I tried to find a reason. I looked for scenes that like, what could Luffy have done to make Sanji think that this is a guy who he can trust to basically say he's going to find this mystical ocean. It's like saying like, I don't know. I think it's because
he like ate his food or something. Like,
I think it's because he tipped them. He tipped Sanji so much because at the end of the dinner scene, Sanji receives the check and he's like, no, thank you, sir. So he tipped them.
No. So in that scene, what happened was Luffy wrote like, I owe you. And so Sanji was like, you're going to get your ass beat and that's going to be really hilarious. So like, thank you for providing me entertainment.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was the reason that Sanji was like, so...
I think it's because Luffy ate his food. Like that, they were like, that's enough. Like Luffy ate my tuna and he liked it. And so now I just trust him because Zeff won't let me cook what I want. And that's like, that was the most stupid thing.
I think I agree with this take. However, I don't think I would put a line in the sand saying that it's impossible for him in this moment to feel, because he's also probably just like in a bad mood and like it's probably like this might just be like an opportunity for him to like, you know, actually feel something for a fucking change, because Zeff has been like beating his life over the head with his peg leg for the last however long, taking away all of his fun.
See, I like this just makes me think of like, I feel like it was not established that Zeff wanted Sanji to leave because he cares about him. I feel like it was just like Zeff wants Sanji to leave because he doesn't like Sanji.
They did not make a very parental relationship outside the flashback or the last like 3 seconds that they were on screen together.
Because like this just goes back to me being like the because I just remember I was talking with someone in our Discord server about like why I didn't like the reason Sanji like was like couldn't leave, and it was like, or like the Sanji wants to cook things that aren't in the menu, and I was like, I don't like this because it doesn't establish any relationship between him and Zeff except for the fact that they don't like each other, and that like Sanji just doesn't feel an obligation to stay here for like, it's like I don't know, it was a lot, and I'm repeating myself a lot, I feel like now, so I apologize. But just
no, you're good. I do think it was a cute scene though when Zeff was like, or who, I don't know who was barging in, but at some point somebody ratted on Sanji where they were like, "Yo, he fucking made some stir fry and fed a dude," And then he's like, oh, he did? What
I
a good
hated that
kid.
scene. Sorry.
You hated it? Why?
Yeah.
But why?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. I hated that scene because
Yeah.
it's like, why is Zeff made into this villain who's like this evil dude who refuses to let Sanji cook what he wants? And Luffy's like, he fed people in your kitchen and you're a big meanie and Sanji needs to leave. And it's like, why are they making this? Why would Luffy misunderstand their relationship like that? Why would he barge in and like impose on their, I don't know. I felt like it was strange. And it was almost like Luffy was teaching Zeff about Sanji when Zeff should be the one who knows Sanji better than anyone. I don't know.
So
it was a
this
weird
is
scene.
something about the scene that, so this is why there's a part that I liked and a part that I disliked. So in my mind, I think Zeff's villainizing in Sanji is his like weird, is like the writer's weird, or not weird, but like attempts at trying to replicate the energy that happened at the end of Baratie when they tried to basically just convince Sanji like, hey, or like, you know, we fucking hate you, like you might as well fucking leave, right? In my mind, I think that this is Zeff's interpretation, or the show's interpretation of Zeff trying to like create division in their relationship because he fears that he won't ever make the plunge for himself. But what they failed to do is give a scene between Zeff and Luffy after Zeff finds out that Luffy was like, yo, you should join in my boat. He never like informs Luffy like, hey, dude, like, can you please take this kid? I need him to like go live his fucking life because it's tearing me apart seeing that they didn't have that between those two characters. And I feel like it almost set a weird precedent that like now we as an audience also don't really understand like why Zeff is trying to be such a meanie to Sanji until we get the last fucking like moment of the final episode where he's like, all right, bye, see you later, son.
Yeah, that like the when Sanji finally says like I'm leaving, I hated that scene so much when like he and Zeff are like cleaning up the Baratie and they're like fighting and Sanji's like, well, okay, I'm gonna go join the crew, bye. And like it's so, it was just like
deuces.
I was just like,
It was like
well,
he left just because he was fed up. Like,
yeah, like he didn't leave because he like believes in Luffy because like and like realizes that like the Baratie care about him because like at the end of the Baratie arc in the manga, he overhears all the chefs being like, Sanji needs to leave because he has a dream and we are not helping him. And in this, it was like, wow, I'm mad at my dad. I'm gonna leave. Bye.
I mean,
it was very different for sure. Go ahead, Matilda. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. It felt very random, his joining. And also, I never got the sense that Luffy needed Sanji on the crew. I never got the sense that he needed Zoro either. Actually, like the whole Luffy's like pushiness to get these crewmates was not well established. I feel like that is important, like to his crew, that he collects a crew, that he chooses these people. And now it was like, you should join my crew maybe if your dad hates you. I don't know, like maybe. It felt so undecisive. It just, I really missed that sort of drive from Luffy to get people to join.
Where
and
he
the
just
drive
goes
from
like,
the people.
hey, you're my Pokemon. I choose you. Get on my
choose
boat.
you. Get on my boat.
Well, see,
I agree.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There's,
The thing about the Straw Hats that I love, like, is that they are not just like a bunch of, I don't know, misfits who just happen to be on a boat together. Like, they are chosen by Luffy, and he goes to extreme lengths to both get them. You know, he's pushy, he's annoying, but then, you know, when something happens, he goes to these extremes to get them back. And like, I never got the feeling that Luffy needed these people. That sucked to me.
Yes, and we haven't gotten that, and I think we're only now getting that. Obviously, presumably, because I technically haven't seen the next two episodes, even though I know what happens, more or less. But, like, we don't get that drive and determination until...
you know what happens in the next two episodes?
We're going to do Atanami, like, right? Like, is that not written on the walls? Am I crazy for assuming that?
No, I'm laughing because you've seen the whole fucking series. All right, don't...
So, yeah, like, I agree with Lookie, where Luffy's obnoxious in ways that would probably annoy all of us in real life, but we don't get that presented to us. And like in like the series, Luffy, like anytime he gets a new crewmate, he's like, all right, time for the next one on the list. I got my swordsman. I got my navigator. All right, I need a cook. And we don't get that. And
Did he even
I don't
say
think
that
we're ever
he needed a cook before they got to the Baratie? Did they even
No,
say like
he never said, I
needed a
don't
cook?
think he ever uttered those words,
Well,
period.
in the manga, he says, I need a musician. right before they go to the
Yeah.
Baratier. Like he says
Yeah,
like I
true.
do want to cook,
Yeah, that's
but
a
he's
joke,
like
yeah.
next on my list is a musician.
That
Yeah,
And then the
that was-
others,
that was
I think
true.
the
I'm
others
misremembering.
are, but I think at least, it's established that you're going to be the cook of my crew. He does say that here, but it's almost like, well, I need a
Haphazardly.
cook anyway, so you could join me.
Yeah, very wishy-washy,
Mhm,
not
mhm.
a demand that, regular Luffy would normally make.
Not get on my ship. I want you.
And
I
He
need
gives you
think
too
that-
much
yeah.
options and choice instead of, you're joining my crew whether you like it or not. You're coming on board one way or another.
Especially, I feel like they try to give the other characters agency because, like, maybe they thought like it felt like Luffy forced them on board, but he doesn't. That's his thing. He wants them, and then they refuse, and then Luffy proves himself to them, and they choose to go with him. But like,
But they literally do that in the manga too, because like at the end of Baratier, Zeff is like, take Sanji with you, and Luffy says no because Sanji has to want to leave himself.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, because he's like, well, he didn't want to. Yeah.
Like, Sanji's
yeah, so
like-
Luffy is pushing, but like he's not forcing it. But I feel like they were so desperate to get the agency of like, especially Zoro, if I could just mention him, because he had this whole moment where he's like, Luffy's like, he doesn't go to this like, I need you on my crew, or you're joining, but he was like, you should join. And then he just walks away from Zoro. And then Zoro sees them fight and he's like, okay,
That's my captain.
I'll join
alright?
this fight, I guess. And it's just so lackluster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Poupée, do you have anything to say about Sanji one last moment? Because I want to ask you guys about how you feel about Zoro, Mihawk, and other things like that.
I think I've like run out of things to say that aren't repetitive or like kind of irrelevant, just like things that I'm mad they cut from the manga. So I think I think I'm good. I have like a list of quotes after I watched the live action, I bought the manga Barati.
Okay.
That's
I've been
commitment.
telling myself for years, like, don't buy any One Piece until like I know where I've like moved into a house that I'm not moving from. Like, do not do it. Like, don't buy even a single book because you're gonna start buying them all. I watched the live action and I was like, well, I gotta read them. I gotta have a physical copy. So I bought volumes 5 through 8, which is all of the Baratier, and it
Literally just 5 through 8.
well, then it unlocked something
That's
in me because
amazing.
I was like, I could buy these in French. So then I bought 9 in French, and now I'm like, oh no, I need to stop.
She's got
an
itch and she's trying to
But
get
so I
out.
have I was like, the minute I finished watching it, I started reading it, and I'm like, oh, this is different. And my phone is full of screenshots, or not screenshots, pictures of panels that I'm like, why isn't this here? So that's my spiel to say I don't have anything more insightful to say about what was actually shown.
Well, thank you for the poo lore. We love poo lore.
Uh,
How about you,
what-
Matilda? Do you have any other major primary like personal thoughts on Sanji as a whole? Because I think the last two big things we want to talk about, since this was 2 episodes, we'll probably get into Mihawk and Zoro a little bit, and also get into a little bit of the Arlong Nami bits if we
Mhm.
haven't already covered the vast majority of it.
I guess just like the flashback was my biggest gripe, I think, with the whole thing.
Really?
Oh, we didn't
Not
talk
the
about the flashback.
Not the flashback
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
itself, but how it was implemented into the story. I've talked about this. I got so upset about this. I hadn't seen any like fans, on Twitter talk about this. I wrote a thread about it because I was so upset. And thankfully, I wasn't the only one who noticed this. But like essentially the whole captain thing with Luffy. So Luffy's like worried about Zoro, right? And he's questioning his role as captain. And now it's like Sanji is like this person who helps him through that by sharing his backstory to him and using this as an example of how to be a captain. And and it's so weird because on so many levels, I hate this because like
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
the backstory, like this scene has nothing to do with Sanji at all. It's about Luffy and it's about the Zoro thing, and like it's so jarring to watch Sanji like starve for 70 days and then just have the point of it be Zeff acted like a captain on that rock. And what bothers me most is that Sanji, like, in order to tell a story like this, like a traumatic event from your life as a sort of lesson, you need to have like a distance to it to the point where you can talk about it casually. And Sanji's whole arc is supposed to be about that he hasn't let go of this, that he can't understand Zeff's sacrifice. But here it's like he's gotten over it. And he's like, hey, I have a little tale from my childhood here I could share with you. Like, it just feels weird to me.
I
Okay,
that
I
it's
see where
used,
you're
that
coming from.
way.
think there's like a
And,
way they
yeah.
could have done it better now that I like think about it, where it's like So Sanji doesn't learn, like, we learn, like, this is never expressed literally at all in the show, but we learn in the manga that, like, Zeff kept Sanji, or I guess they say it in the show too. They kept Sanji alive because Sanji has the same dream and he wants Sanji to, like, live out his dream. So maybe they could have tied this into the fact that, like, Luffy was letting Zoro live out his dream. And so, like, that somehow is a connection between him telling this story. Because, yeah, otherwise the story has nothing to do with Zeff being a good captain, because he was a bad captain because he fucking attacked a ship in the middle of a storm and everyone died.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's actually a good point. If you would have made it more like, hey, I appreciate the fact that, I might not, think that you're the smartest guy in the world, but it was really cool that you let your boy over here try to fulfill his dreams or whatever. And then that could be like the catalyst to maybe get into his backstory from his perspective. Because how did we get Sanji's backstory originally? It was through Zepp, right?
Yeah,
Like, Zepp
so they're
told
fighting
Luffy-
Don Krieg. No, I thought it was during
it's
the
Sanji who just gets knocked out during the fight. He gets, crushed. His head gets crushed, and he starts thinking, because he sacrificed himself for the Baratheons right after that moment, and then we get to know why he did that, why he's so,
Yeah.
The backstory,
Okay.
it explains Sanji. That's the backstory's point. But and the funniest thing about this is that after this scene in the live action where, after the captain lesson and whatever, Nami reads a book to Zoro and she's like, that's not, I don't think that was the point of this story. And Luffy says, stories can have different points. And I really feel like the writers knew that we would think this way, and they added these lines as to to
steer
mend
people.
it. I
Okay,
don't know.
that might be a little too meta, but
No,
I understand where the outrage is
I feel
coming
like they
from.
wrote that for me specifically. I was like, I see what you're doing.
I know what you're doing. All right, you're trying to dissuade me from criticizing.
Speaking of meta, she reads the tale of
Nolan the
Mont Blanc
Liar.
Nolan,
Yeah.
and it just made me think to myself, we're not going to see cricket, are we? That was
Of
my
course we're going to
biggest.
see cricket. Well, if we get there, I mean,
That was my biggest concern. I was like,
tall order.
they're dropping this Easter egg. It's dropping real early. We're not going to get to fucking see Mont Blanc.
I don't know. I think they
cricket.
just need a season 3 to get to cricket. If
Yeah,
I'm
we do. We'll see how we
remembering
get
the
there.
arcs correctly.
Yeah, if they're going the distance and they get to season 3, my guess is that he will be there for season 3. I think that's season 3.
Yeah.
But that's it.
If season
Anything else
2
on
plays out
Sanji?
the way I expect it to play out, that is covering the arc I expect it to cover.
Yeah, same. That's also my expectations.
Yeah.
What I got lost my train of thought. All right, so I would also say that for the Sanji backstory, I do think I got to give a little bit of credit to the kid actor. The kid actor that they
I love him.
had for,
Oh my God, when he
for the
screamed,
backstory.
I felt so bad for his poor voice.
Yeah, I think the placement and the execution of where they put it within the narrative wasn't perfect, but the actual execution of the flashback wasn't bad. I genuinely enjoyed the how they filmed it, and they really drove home just how much starvation that they went through.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they didn't handle the traumatic aftermath in the emotional side of what that really does to a character as well as they probably could have. But I didn't hate the flashback, and out of all of the straw flashbacks we've gotten so far, it's easily been my favorite.
I think I mentioned this already, but I hate that they cut the scene where Sanji is on the orbit cleaning the leftovers, and he's like, "Blah, gross." The shops are like, "Hey, can we have that?" And he's like, somebody ate off of this, because they still show him
Actually,
looking at the moldy
Yeah.
bread, because in the manga, he's looking at the that scene happens, and then he looks, and then it's many days later, and the bread is all moldy and gross, and he goes to eat it anyways, even though it's disgusting and gross, and it falls in the ocean, and he's like, "Wow, what a fool was I for wasting all this perfectly good food, and now I can't even eat the gross food." And I don't know, that really bugged me, because the don't
Out
waste
of all
food.
the stories, why would you cut that out? One of the most
that's
profound
such
messages.
an easy layup too.
Yeah.
That's such an easy layup.
I know you want to talk about Mihawk, but the I don't waste food thing was so just we don't waste food here. We don't waste food here. And it's obviously I can infer from watching a flashback of you starving to death, why you don't waste food. But maybe show how you came to that conclusion, beyond just oh, I had a traumatic incident where I had no food for 50 days or whatever. With the
He also says
Yeah.
we don't waste food. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a personal thing to Sanji. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel that way. It feels like this restaurant, we are a business who don't waste food. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I know you want to move on to the to Mihawk and
We don't have to. No, there's more conversation to be had.
Excuse you, hold on. Yes, we do. I am this last bastion of Zoro fanboys, and we will talk about Zoro and Mihawk. Right?
Oh boy! All right, here we
I've
go.
given you your
I will
time.
say, even though they displaced Krieg, I did kind of like how they did it with Krieg and Mihawk, just like being in fuck who knows
I
where,
thought that
and then
looked fucking
Mihawk's
cool as hell. I was like, I was kind of like, damn, I wish they had Krieg because that looked dope as hell.
Yeah, that was a pretty like cool one-off scene where Mihawk's just like in the middle of nowhere, just like on a beach somewhere, and then this blue-haired motherfucker with some body armor and a cannon on his shoulder walks up and goes like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's just like, "I'm just a guy passing some time." Well, I mean, that's like a dumb line in the show or whatever, but the point of the fact of the matter is, I sort of liked if they were going to change how Mihawk was brought into this narrative. I don't think that they took an L on the direction they went with Mihawk. I also liked how like casually was. He like showed up to the Baratier and was like, "Yo, hey, I'm looking. Hey, can you so you're captain? His name's Luffy. Can you introduce me or something?" Like, I just sort of get that vibe from someone like Mihawk. Like, he's way too chill to be like going anywhere like with the intent of like, I guess, murking an establishment like 24/7. Although I guess that is kind of how we get introduced to him in the manga or whatever. But like, I don't know. I just found it to be a very natural, I guess, progression in like who we see or like how Mihawk is as a person, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any complaints with Mihawk.
I can definitely tell that the people who worked on this love Mihawk and the Mihawk fight, since they extended it, and removed all the Sanji scenes for it.
Move
Let it take
aside,
up the
Sanji.
whole
It's time for
episode,
Zoro, baby.
I'm not
God,
angry at them.
I do think I'm a little miffed that it feels like they spent more time trying to cultivate Zoro here than they did.
They know where the
Sanji.
money is, baby.
That's a little slap in the face, I will say. So, or go ahead, Poupée.
Oh,
sorry.
I just like maybe it's like something with like fight choreography. Hold on, sorry, my rabbit is doing something naughty. What are you doing? Sorry.
Oh, the rabbit's doing fun things again.
Sorry.
Better not be chewing on the wires.
Yeah, don't break more headphones, please. What was I saying? Oh, I just like a lot of the fights, like maybe I'm just like bad at watching fights, but like they didn't look very good to me.
No. Sorry. I started laughing. I was like, what?
The Mihawk and the Zoro fight, I will agree, it didn't look great.
And I don't know. Maybe like I'm just bad at watching fights because like I feel this way about like most fights and most live action things. I will give them, they didn't do like quick shots, which I absolutely hate, which is like like when the actors can't fight very well, so they like do like a lot of like quick little shots that like you're supposed to like piece together in your mind, like this person punched that person.
A bunch of jump cuts or whatever.
We cut cameras so you don't see the glaring flaws in our choreography or whatever.
But there was something about that Mihawk fight where I maybe it was supposed to be silly and that's why it like looked kind of funky, but I don't know. Also,
I don't
Zora's
think it was
swords,
supposed to be silly.
Zora's swords look like such props. Like I can't. They look like they're plastic, which they probably are. But
I mean, they are. I mean,
they definitely are.
Talked about the bending katana there.
We don't even talk about that.
Yeah, the bending scabbard or whatever the fuck from episode 1.
Yeah, but
it's definitely meant to be a serious scene, and I think it tries its best to. But I think and maybe this is just a consequence of live action as opposed to suspending your disbelief for like an animated format. But like, come on, you see a dude with 3 swords trying his best against a guy with a freaking glorified butter knife who's absolutely getting his shit wrecked. I think there's like an inherent silliness to that, right?
There is an inherent silliness. I will say, even if the choreography wasn't like perfect, I'm glad that they at least kept most of the, like, I guess, main bits, like Zoro getting stabbed in the chest at first, and Mihawk being a predominant fencer before he brought out Yoru or whatever the hell. Like, these are, like, small things that I can appreciate. But, it was good. Yeah.
They stayed very true to the manga and the anime. They stayed very, even down to the angles, which pisses me off because they are so true to Sanji's freaking to Zoro's character, and they remove Sanji's moment that is the equivalent of Zoro's, I will never lose again moment. They removed that moment for Sanji, which is, the Barati, I want to die for this restaurant moment. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I also just really hate that Sanji didn't witness the fight. And in my notes, I literally wrote, what did I write? I wrote, Nami kind of takes on Sanji's role of giving up your dreams. frowny face. That's what I wrote.
I feel like the writers like ship Nami and Zoro, and I'm not gonna accuse them or
I
anything.
caught that
but
too, and I think that's weird.
I don't think that's a thing. Come on.
I don't know,
yeah,
man. I feel like the writing's on the wall.
The thing is, Oda, Steve Maeda, the showrunner, he confirmed that Oda had given them specific instruction or like a demand that there would be no romance between the Straw Hats, which means or implies that there was, romance on the table. That they were probably.
Well,
asking,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they obviously
romance?
talked about it, but like, I feel like that's more of a conversation you set up front where you're like, hey, can we do this? And then he's like, absolutely fucking not.
And then the writers were like, okay, we're going to
door.
write as many scenes we can with these characters because we have two attractive actors, a man and a woman, and they have to have as many scenes as possible. That's what I got from this. Like, I couldn't find anything.
I don't think Lookie's crazy here, man. I'm on the same boat.
I don't know if they did that.
They look good together, cool, but like someone should have been in the room with the writers and be like, there are other characters in this show.
To maybe focus on this point, when Sanji walks away after getting their order or whatever, at the very end of their them teasing Nami, the camera focuses on Nami's face, and what I perceive is like her kind of being like bashful about Sanji kind of hitting on her, like, okay, like I kind of liked it. And maybe I'm misinterpreting it. I could be. I'll admit that. To me, it felt like, oh, maybe Sanji's kind of cute or whatever. And instead of like in anime and manga, she would just be like so off put by his attempts.
Well, no, she's not off put. She immediately leans in and uses it like to her advantage. Is like
I feel like she's more off put in the live action. She looks like she's kind of like she's like, who is this weirdo? Can he stop? But in the anime, she's obviously like sees her opportunity and she's like, oh, I can use this guy, which is
maybe
really
I'm
funny.
Just thinking too much about like present current day Nami, where like maybe I am just misinterpreting.
No, you're onto something because I feel like these characters were written like they're post time skip selves, more like the how they are, which sucks because
So something that kind of annoys me about that, and I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but so they have a lot of future knowledge that I guarantee you Oda did not have, relating to a lot of things that happen later in the series. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me. There's so many plot points that I'm like, Oda whipped that out of his ass. Like he wasn't always planning. And you know which one I'm talking about, probably. But like they have an opportunity then to like use some of that future knowledge maybe and like not obviously like hint towards things, but like have it kind of drive the characters a bit more. And they kind of wasted that. And like, I don't know, I have like a belief like if you're adapting something, like you gotta, and you can make changes, but they gotta be good changes. And
there has to be meaningful compromise, and you can't sacrifice the productivity of one narrative choice or like plot necessity to facilitate like some other choices or whatever that you feel like are more important or whatever. Because then I feel like you're just starting to create, I mean, at least in Sanji's case, he definitely got the short end of the stick on this one, I think, in these couple set of episodes.
I know. I like the thing about the future knowledge, like the characters don't feel like they feel like they're already supposed to, I don't know. They feel like they've gotten over their trauma already. At least Sanji. It feels like he's already the smiley guy who he, becomes in the crew later on. I don't know. What I love about One Piece is that these characters, we see them grow into they start off as kind of, most of them are, outcasts, social outcasts, and they become, they grow into this family and we see them evolve as people. So why not show them, as they are when we meet them? Why turn them into these like good people already? I don't know.
Yeah, these very like reserved and like actually like they have their shit together sort of people. When the reality is they absolutely do not have their shit together.
Sanji is too nice.
He has no problem. He doesn't have any flaws or problems. He's just a nice guy, and he feels more like Taz. I followed Taz a little bit. I was so excited to see him.
He seems like a pretty cool guy, to be fair.
Yeah, he seems really cool, and he's so knowledgeable about the character, and I was so excited to see him play him, but Sanji feels more like him, and I guess the actors will always bring in their own personality to a role, but Taz is a really like friendly, smiley guy, and I feel like that comes across too much in his portrayal.
Because like
someone a director has to come along and be like, hey, you're a great guy. Sanji's not that great of a guy yet, so tone it down.
He's a jerk. But he's
Like,
always he's
like, we-
consistently a jerk, you know.
He's like a
towards
jerk
most
to
people.
Luffy, but he's not a jerk
Yeah.
to Luffy in this. And like I know they're setting it up so that Sanji and Zoro can have their like quips, but like he's also not nice to the Usopp, or I mean he's nice to them, but he acts like an asshole to them. And like
No, he picks a fight with
Yeah.
Usopp. He's like, eat your
Yeah.
mushrooms, you goddamn idiot. And he's like, he picks a fight with every man he meets. It's yeah, he's got issues, but you know, this Sanji is just doesn't have any
He's just a
problems.
super nice guy.
yeah,
I agree. They've written him in a way right now where he doesn't have any problems, and I guess like only time will tell what they do with him and the rest of the crew like going forward. But I almost feel like that now we've got like this like precedent set where they're already like very like reserved and very like put together. It's going to be hard to deconstruct them like in a meaningful or even believable way going forward because of some
Yeah.
of the stuff that we missed out on in these episodes.
That's why I kind
Agreed.
of feel like when we talk of like improving things, like there's a lot of talk about like how this, you know, there are minor issues with this show, but it can be improved. I kind of feel the opposite, where I feel like they kind of missed it with so many of these characters. And I don't know, like,
I blame the writer. I really don't like. Have not looked up like anything about the production of the show, but I know Loki mentioned the writer once, so I like looked him up, and he works only on Marvel things, and it's
You're
very
right.
obvious. Is very obvious that like the dialogue is Marvel dialogue, like quips and whatever, and the characters are
Yeah.
very one dimensional and like very like likable guys. And I think that this show, like I said, I know I've been hating on this for the past hour and a half. I thought the show was fine. It was enjoyable. I think that in the hands of a different writer, it would be a lot better because I think the casting is good. I, again, can't tell if Nami is a bad actress or she has bad dialogue. I am assuming she just has bad dialogue because she's so freaking angsty the whole time and it's annoying. I just think it needs a different writer.
I think I might not be too far off that deep end where I'm not super criticizing of every bit of the writing. I think that they've missed the mark on some of the very necessary components that make our primary cast. But I've actually enjoyed a lot of the writing for most of the side characters up until these episodes, funny enough. Like, I really don't think that we got a whole lot back on the table for us. Like in the Sierra Village arc, I actually really like what they did with Kuro and Kaya. They were great. I had a blast, to be perfectly honest.
I hate that kiss.
But fuck you, fuck you and your fucking.
It's
I'm not
so,
saying like we need it, but like I don't care.
no.
it's so American. I knew they would do that.
Yeah.
Of
It
course
is
they
kind
would
of
do
American,
that.
though.
Oh, enraged me
But,
so
like,
much.
In
I enraged me
this
too because
set-
he's no longer relatable.
Shut the fuck up, Justin. Anyway, in this set, you would hope that they would continue that momentum and do something like, really make Zeff like this really compelling guy, or like, if they were going to bring Full Body in, maybe bring Full Body in, or if they were going to bring Geen in some way. They just kind of like moved forward the plot in these two episodes, and only that. They didn't establish a lot of like meaningful relationships like they did during the Sierra Village arc, which was like probably Christian's biggest concern or criticism was against Usopp at the time, was he was taking a backseat to his own arc.
Yeah.
I was happy that we were at least getting somewhat fun and meaningful storytelling through like what was happening around the characters. I don't know if we got that here, and that's a bit of a shame. They were just like at a restaurant. Mihawk showed up for 20 minutes, and then
Zoro almost
and then
died
fucked
for
up.
20 minutes.
Yeah, and then now we're going to to Nami's arc or
Okay.
whatever to finally finish out the East Blue saga.
Yeah. Also, okay, speaking of Nami and her arc, okay, I was so confused, or like maybe it was a plot contrivance. So she wanted to get on a ship to go to the the Konami Islands, and then she was like, "Wow, these guys," and correct me if I'm wrong, but then she's like, first of all, they're like, "We leave at dawn." It was not, or dusk or whatever. It was not dusk when they left. It was like noon. But they,
It was
They-
not
she-
dusk.
she like gets there and then she's like has a change of heart. I don't know why, but then Arlong shows up anyways. I'm so confused about why, what was happening there.
So I think she was planning to bail. Then she didn't want to.
She realized
and then-
she had feelings for Zoro.
I don't like this energy that you put out here. All right, Looky, don't be doing this.
Realize, real lies, all right?
No, stop. Anyway,
Sorry.
yeah, she decided that she wanted to stay. And then it just so happened that because the writers were trying to like pan up Arlong, as of a couple episodes ago, which I don't think was a bad idea, for the record. And they threw him in here as almost like the Krieg replacement, but with like none of the, I guess, emotional turmoil that comes with it, or like character development that comes with it. And then just to kind of introduce Arlong as like our new future baddie. And then since Nami happened to be there, she was like, well, this is my chance to sort of like, I guess, fuck off and then hopefully keep everyone alive, so to speak, which I don't think was a bad choice. If they were going to keep her in there, it's probably the best thing they could have done with her character in that moment, I suppose. So not the worst execution, but it was just, I think there was a lot lost in the lead up that left me with a little bit unwanted or wanting more maybe or whatever. Also, Arlong does not look that bad, and I will die on this.
No,
hill.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I think he looks fine. Do
Great.
people
I
think he
generally
looks
looks
bad?
pretty good. Well, I mean, I think in general the consensus is that the Fishman prosthetics is like really jarring and like a little hard to look at.
I
mean,
say
they're
I feel like it only looks bad on the other two just because like
So-
their lips don't move.
So my opinion on this is people keep comparing it to Pirates of the Caribbean. I have
Yeah.
not seen a
me included, by the way.
I
Me included.
have not watched a Pirates of the Caribbean movie since I was probably like 8 or 10 years old.
Okay.
So-
I thought you were gonna say you've never watched it, and I was
No.
about to be really fucking
those movies
upset.
traumatized me. But anyways, or actually the
What?
ride, the ride at the Disneyland traumatized me for the Pirates of the Caribbean. But
Oh.
anyways,
Classic.
so I have like very little like recollection of like what the fish people looked like in Pirates of the Caribbean. I thought these fish people look fine. They look wonky. It's a wonky series, like whatever. I don't think they look too bad. Even Chew. I know
Mhm,
people had a big, did not like what Chew looked like. I think it looks fine, whatever. They like did what the best they had with the budget.
He's growing on me, but his design was a little jarring at first, I will admit.
Oh, and before,
Chew.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I was
say
just saying,
something
Chew
controversial.
did not get me
Sorry.
at first. Oh boy, here
Go
we go.
on.
I don't give a fuck about any of the prosthetics or CGI. They could be like, I could watch sock puppets. I could have sock puppets be the fishmen, and I would be like, fine. As long as they are in character, I don't give a shit. That is my take on this.
As long
that's
as they
exactly how
nail,
I feel. I really want, actually, for the next season, when we meet a certain character, I want him to be a puppet. I'm
Oh,
praying
yeah.
with all my heart that he's a puppet.
that he's a Muppet, like just
Like,
a Muppet,
literally,
like
I saw a post on Tumblr that was like, we should get Fozzie Bear. And then people would complain, but you'd be like, it's Fozzie Bear. Like, what are you going to do?
I mean, I think that that's not like the worst. This is actually my hot take. I don't think that that's the worst solution to that problem, if I'm going to be honest. I think having a dead ass Muppet would actually be kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm sort of here for Muppet energy.
How is it
I
going
have
to
not
fight?
considered these
I don't know, but
possibilities.
we'll make it work.
Yeah, like they can figure that out in the future. I mean, we can have more than one Muppet. Like, not a big problem at all in my mind. But yeah,
More
honestly,
Muppets for
I
season 2. That's
Start the petition now.
honestly, what if every single what was a Muppet? Is all I'm saying. Now we're
Mhm.
talking.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I haven't been following
the-
this conversation for the past 5 minutes. Whoever these characters
the-
are, I hope they're great.
The people that can turn into things.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Huh?
If they transform in their Muppet.
Oh.
If all of them were Muppets as soon as they
Oh.
transform.
I
That
don't
would
think
be-
I could look at certain government agents the same ever again if that happened.
I'm just saying, man. Like this is like the future I want for me. Is all I'm saying.
I support
hold on, I
it.
got Discord messages. Oh, never mind. It's not from anyone important. Anyway, moving on. Not sure. It was actually from a friend of mine in our Discord.
Oh, wait,
so.
I just got a Discord message. Oh, it was from Justin.
Don't peek behind the curtain. Shh.
Don't peek behind the curtain. No,
Okay.
wait, what did he said?
He wants us to wrap things up.
Oh, well, hold on. I say all that. I'm just saying, we got a whole other half of the show to get to.
Justin, if
We
we
do
were
have
talking
more
about
stuff in the show to get
Zorro
through.
for an hour and a half, you would have no complaints.
Of course, I have an agenda. I'm biased. I know it.
This was the sound, and you know what? I think this was. I was so interested in this episode too because I wanted to like get into the nitty gritty about like what we felt like they did right and wrong, and I feel like we got there. I learned so much more than I anticipated, and I love that.
like
So
I got
thank you for
more, but
providing.
I'm just gonna say
We only
that
have
for
a couple hours. There's only so
Yeah.
much
yeah.
bandwidth we could
do me a
use.
favor. We got Sanji Cast 2 on the docket.
Oh.
Save anything we didn't cover here for Sanji Cast 2. That's what we'll do.
We save it
It's
for
all
One
right.
Piece with 11, our Patreon exclusive after show.
Oh boy, no, stop. We're not doing that one again. All right, moving on. Okay, so does anyone have any other final thoughts about their opinions on these episodes really quick?
Oh,
that,
My
they feel-
I do-
only
Oh, real quick, Garp driving me crazy when he does that weird like freak out and then maniacally laughs. Very
Same.
weird.
I'm
Very
here for it.
uncomfortable.
I like Crazy Garp.
Very uncomfortable.
I agree.
Not a fan.
A quick comment establishing that I think Garp, especially in his the flashback with him and Kid Luffy on the beach or whatever, I think that is a little bit of evidence that supports the claim of like you just can't recreate certain things from anime. Like I see the energy and the zaniness and the absurdity that they're trying to portray through Garp, and I don't know if it's the actor, I don't know if it's the accent, I don't know if it's just a live action issue. I don't get the ha ha he's absurd. I get the this guy is deranged and not in a funny way.
I think that Scottish Garp is the Garp we deserve, and I'm like glad that he exists. He like I made a post where he looks in the trailer exactly like that picture of Russell Crowe and Javert, and I'm like, I believe it, I'm here for it. Like I respect it. I agree with Justin that like there's something that just does not translate well with this. Like he is deranged. It's uncomfortable.
I mean, I kind of skipped some of his scenes, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
I was just gonna say, sorry, Lookie doesn't know much about.
Don't
Garp.
worry, you're not missing out on much.
Yeah.
You already know. You've seen the
I
show.
love the Garp scene.
my opinions on this
Garp
show.
Kobe is the best B plot that I think the show. I will die on this hill. I love the B plot between Garp and Kobe. I'm here for it.
I don't hate
Every
it. It
time
just
they're
feels
on
a little
screen.
suffocating, honestly.
I recommend
Nope,
you go listen to
I
Grand
want
Line
more.
Review's video about what his B plot would be. Is 100 times better idea because it doesn't spoil anything that happens in fucking 6 arcs from now.
Well, there's also that too. To be fair, that was a little while that we got that reveal.
My
in
last quick
episode 4.
comment would be I think Makinu gets an A+ for his betrayal for the scene after he gets stabbed and taken down by Mihawk as he's making his proclamation to Luffy. I think he tried really hard. I think it was mostly successful. The only real thing I would say he needed is we couldn't get some artificial tears to just drop on that guy's face real quick when he because he does everything word for word and movement for movement where he freaking clutches his left eye, raises his sword, and he's like, I'll never lose again. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But also in that scene, Zoro was crying inconsolably. We couldn't just waterboard this guy for a quick second.
We couldn't waterboard this poor man.
I just need a little bit of tears. Come on, man. Give me something.
I mean, I'm sure he did tear up, I think, but I don't think
wanted
that
to see a
CGI'd,
single teardrop
sobs,
roll down
no.
his face at least. That's what I'm asking.
Listen,
for.
they were afraid of the type of ugly crying that Oda draws. They were like, that won't sell.
Clearly.
Oda does make some fucking ugly criers
They're
though, which I'm
beautiful.
I'm
they're
here
all
for.
ugly criers. I haven't seen a pretty one yet.
I love the ugly
Justin,
cries
I
that
have
this man
news
comes
for
up
you,
with.
but I won't say it. Just know you never witnessed it.
All right,
I know what you're talking
moving
about.
on,
I
though.
saw that one. Okay, it's not ugly. I won't call it pretty, but it's not ugly.
Moving on, we have quotes. Are there any quotes from anyone that they want to put forward onto the table right now?
I'm surprised I
do
have any.
one.
I have
I have a
two.
lot, actually.
You want to go first, Pooh?
Sure. So I did like the quote when Zoro was like, I don't remember when this happened. I think it's after the Garp attack, but Zoro just says I think he has brain damage when he's talking about Luffy, because that's pretty good. And then the other one is when Usopp is really drunk and he's talking to Mihawk and he goes, guys, meet my new best friend. Because that is me anytime I get drunk and I'm at a bar or around people I don't know. But I'm that's I'm this person I just met in the bathroom because drunk girls in the bathroom are all your best friend. And I'm this is me. I am Usopp.
I'm glad she sniped me for my first quote. That's awesome.
Incredible.
What about you, Matilda?
Go ahead. Do you have any, Matilda?
A quote. Well, I didn't really like the writing of this, so I don't really have any good. No,
That's okay. You don't
I have
need
one. I have
a
one.
quote.
I have
Oh,
one.
okay, all right.
Not exactly a quote, but when Luffy
Don't be like
ordered-
Devin and then just say knife chopping noises or something. All right, don't.
Don't worry, I
I
got that
do
covered.
like those. I do like knife chopping, but
The jazz music in this episode, though?
Oh, amazing.
amazing.
Music
Yeah,
was
that
really
was great.
fire.
Okay, the scene where Luffy orders milk, when the others order, they're a beer and I'll have a milk, please. I'm oh my gosh, that is so relatable. As a person who drinks, I don't drink milk, but as someone
But you
who
don't drink
always orders
alcohol.
cola, yeah, I don't drink alcohol. So I was okay, that's my guy. I like that.
That's me. At a bar with the homies, I'm can I get a Shirley Temple?
Yeah, can I get the Shirley Temple with no alcohol, please? I want like the one I used to get when I was like 10.
That's why it's
They're-
called the
they're
Shirley
awesome.
Temple.
Cherry juice.
It's a dirty Shirley. If there's alcohol in it, Brendan, you savage.
Oh, my
He's
bad.
not
I
like
didn't
us. He doesn't know. He
realize.
drinks like Guinnesses or whatever.
I haven't had a dirty or Shirley Temple probably in like 10 years. All right, go
Shirley
easy on
Temple
me.
will change your life.
It will.
I bet. So I know we talked about it being like a not good scene, but like I wrote this quote.
I'm sorry, Brendan.
Madam, forgive my rude behavior. Madam, would Madam prefer her water in a crystal glass, or would a golden bowl be more Madam style? I don't know. I at least they razzed each other.
No,
dude.
that was.
Like,
I thought that was cute.
I enjoy some razzing. If they're not going to do it right, I'd rather not sit there and have them never do it at all or whatever, right? And then this one goes out to my boy Buggy. I love Buggy.
I can't believe we forgot to talk about Buggy. Buggy is
God,
the best
I
thing
forgot.
about the episode 6. I love
He's
it.
the best thing
awesome.
about all the episodes.
Honestly,
Dude, he's
correct.
like the best in this entire show. I fucking love him so much. Oh wait, no, not in the bag. It's so dark and wet and sandy.
Oh. One thing.
Inaccurate description of her grab bag.
One thing I did love about Buggy is everyone on the show has really nice teeth, and it really makes me self-conscious about my teeth. But Buggy doesn't have super nice teeth, so I was like, "Thank you." Not that I have
What
bad
very
teeth, but I'm just
specific-
like, do my teeth not look as nice as all of their teeth?
If I gave them any W, it would have to be that they have nailed Buggy. They have exceeded my Buggy expectations.
Absolutely.
I fucking love that dumbass. All right, those are my 2 quotes. Moving on.
Oh,
to
hold on.
the-
I have a laundry list.
Oh, I didn't know you had any. I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
I think it's the only episode I had quotes for. All right, what has been sniped? This is during the drinking game between Nami and Usopp. Sora goes, I had friends. And she replies, swords don't count. And honestly, there was a quick little pause from Zoro where I'm like, damn, bro, that's kind of sad, but also relatable. This one's
Okay.
just, it tickles my dumb monkey brain where Luffy's, I guess, maybe like polishing or just like generally taking care of Zoro's sword. And he calls it the Wada Ichi Monkey. I lost it. I was
Wait.
like, that's so funny.
No, he didn't do
Yeah,
that.
he did.
Yes, he did.
He
He
goes
did.
like, it's the Wada
He
Ichi
completely
Monkey.
butchered the name Waluigi
Yeah.
Monji and call it Wada Ichi Monkey. And I'm like, that's so dumb and I love it.
No.
Yes, he
Yes.
That's not a thing.
It
is.
I would have noticed that line.
It's so
That
good.
didn't
I noticed it
happen.
twice because I watched this episode twice, Brendan.
Oh
It's
my
so
god.
good. I love it.
That's fucking incredible.
Shout out to Buggy. He called everybody shitiots, and I thought that was great.
God,
You shitty. That's pretty good.
What else? This is a little bit more inspirational from Zeff. Was it Zeff? I think it was Zeff. He was talking to Sanji. It's one, or excuse me, to Luffy. It's one thing to have a dream. It's another to go after it, and that I don't know. That hit me personally in my own little life.
He's talking about Sanji and his inability to go after his dreams.
Relatable content. Wipe single tear. The last
Oh,
one
boy.
is from Zoro as they're boarding the ship with Sanji. He goes, "Why are we bringing the waiter?" And Usopp replies, "Because we can't boil water." And that's it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty
All
funny.
right. Are we good? Are we satisfied?
I mean,
Yes.
I have quotes from the manga, but I don't think those count.
No, those don't count. All right, moving on to the golden ham. I'm torn. Cause I do like Sanji the most in these. There's still so much more I wanted from him. I feel like.
I don't think I can give it to Sanji in good faith.
I have no idea. I have no pick. Someone needs to convince me to be on their
I
team.
will nominate Zoro.
Absolutely not.
I nominate Mihawk. I'll give it to Mihawk. Even though I know that because they invested so much in Mihawk, we lost Sanji. At least they executed Mihawk, I would say, pretty well.
I don't hate this.
I could be swayed to Mihawk.
I think that he is the reason why we didn't get enough Sanji. However, we at least got the right Mihawk, so I will settle for that. That is my argument to this conversation.
I can support this.
I can support that, but
Will you?
We have to pick somebody, Matilda.
I feel like also he looked like a cosplayer. I'm sorry, I couldn't take him
He
seriously
did
at
look a
all.
lot like a cosplayer.
I think that's a
He
lot
already-
of the characters in the show, unfortunately.
But him
that was my opinion of
especially.
Kuro when we first saw him. I was like, dude, you just like look like you're in cosplay. And
Well, how
it
do you
took me
make
a
a
minute to,
guy
like,
with a
get past
giant
it.
fuck off sword look practical and realistic?
I don't know.
I think it was
just,
the
it's-
eyes.
I think it was the eyes. Like
His
obviously,
contact lenses? What are you going to do about that?
just not give him them. I don't know. They didn't give Sanji his fucking swirly eyebrow because it would have looked ridiculous.
All right,
I do
that's
think
bullshit.
that's criminal. The
That's
fact that he didn't
bullshit.
have swirly
The
They
only
eyebrows.
could
I
have
still
easily
stand
gotten a
by
fucking
that.
pencil and
No,
drawn
the
it
reason
in.
I think they didn't give him his swirly eyebrow is because his hair wasn't constantly covering his other eye. And Sanji with both his eyebrows showing is ridiculous looking. And I understand why, like, maybe they didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and
I
it
don't
also
know. You
like
could have,
goes
like, one
against
be
his
more
design.
prominent than
Do
the
you have
other.
that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It would look goofy, but I think it's so cute. Like seeing both of Sanji's eyebrows, that would almost convince me that this is good if I at least saw that all the time.
After
that
all
would
of
sway
these
me.
like very thoughtful and like well-rounded takes, all you need is for them to add the eyebrow, and you're like, you know what?
I'm on
I love
board.
everything about it.
They tried to do this. They tried to persuade me into thinking this is good by having Taz Skylar like take off his shirt as he was diving after Luffy. And you know what? I hated
Bullshit
the scene.
by the way.
Can you
I hated
believe?
that.
Can
I
you believe
hated
that I
that.
hated the scene?
No, I
Because
also
I hated it even more. Do you know? Oh my gosh! I went to Instagram and freaking Netflix, pops up on my feed. I don't even follow them. I think I have them blocked. But they
Fucking
make this
Netflix.
post where they put the screenshot of Taz, shirtless in the scene next to a scene of Anthony from Bridgerton. And if you've seen that show, he's basically there's a scene of a guy there who's also attractive, I guess, and has a fan service scene. And it just hit me like how much of a Netflix show this is.
well that
like they're
okay.
really,
Mhm.
it checks all the boxes. Like,
No.
oh, we have this guy. Ugh, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't like that because in the manga, he just takes off his shoes. And I can never not think about this Tumblr post I saw like 3 years ago. That's like, when Sanji takes off his shoes to go rescue Luffy, he's not wearing any socks. And, and they missed the opportunity to
To
put
show
some-
Sanji's feet, yeah.
to, to put some
That's the
socks
real
on
crime
Sanji.
here.
No,
Oh my god.
this show is super Netflixized because I was like watching it the first 2 episodes with my friends, and they were like, "There's so much like queer baiting, is that the word? Like of like the way they're writing some of these scenes where I'm like, yep, they're writing this for like women on Netflix to be like, see.
Mm.
But yeah,
Mm.
I didn't like that scene because Sanji didn't take off his shoes and showed us that he actually does wear socks under his
we
shoes.
yeah we didn't get feet pics, and we didn't get proof that he doesn't wear socks.
Okay, hold on. So let's say he takes off his shoes. Would you be upset if he had socks or without socks? Like,
I mean, I want
Would
him
that
to
matter?
wear socks because men who don't wear socks under their dress shoes are criminals.
animals.
Absolute animals. Yeah.
But what if he didn't have socks on and to stay true to the source material?
I think that's what she's getting at. She wishes she lived in that timeline.
No, I don't want.
No, she wants socks. She wants
want
the socks
socks.
on.
I want socks on. I want to put this rumor to rest.
Oh,
want them
I see.
on?
I understand.
Oh, this
now.
whole time I thought you were like, oh,
No,
okay,
no, no,
I'm
no,
begging
no, no.
for
For feet
Sanji's
pics,
No, no,
feet.
yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
where
no,
you're
no,
at.
no. I want to put this malicious rumor to rest that he does not wear socks and show that he
Oh.
does in fact wear socks.
I mean,
You're
I just
clearly
want feet
alone
pics.
on this hill.
You're alone in this. I'm sorry.
All right, back to the rails. All right, so Golden Ham, I
think
vote
Mihawk won.
Mihawk.
Sanji's
Yeah,
feet.
I think
Sanji's feet.
No, we are not turning it into a bit. God
Not
damn
Taz
it, you
Skylar,
people.
not Taz Skylar's feet. I mean, no offense, but just okay. No, I
Manga
take that back.
accurate
This is a
Sanji
joke.
feet.
I don't stand for anything I just said.
No, yes,
Everybody
you do,
clip it
but
and
that's
ship
okay. Clip it and ship it.
Don't worry, I got you next
All
week.
right. We've done it. We've gotten past the Golden Ham. All right, moving on. So now we get to have the fun part of the ceremony where we get to just ask our two lovely guests some questions. Now, I don't know if you listened to our recent episodes, so you might already know all these questions, but I'm going to ask you them anyway. Starting at the top, what are the two of you currently obsessed with that isn't One Piece?
What? That isn't One Piece.
Non-existent.
I'm so sorry, but I genuinely wish you could tell me what I should be obsessed with instead of One Piece. Like, give me something new, please.
Maybe less obsessed energy and more. Is there anything else that catches your free time or something that you genuinely care about that goes out beyond this franchise?
No.
Oh no. Well, that's fair. I respect
Her
that.
brain is 50% Sanji, 50% everything else in One Piece.
Okay,
Well,
I
I hope that
I
there's
do have one thing, maybe. Is
Uh-huh.
it? Wait, is this like something we recommend or?
No,
Kinda.
just whatever
I mean,
you like
it can
to
be.
do.
It just kind of depends on like what you feel like sharing, I guess.
Okay, I guess I have one thing that I'm obsessed with as of yesterday. It's an AMV that I think everyone should watch. It's basically an extremely well-edited video. I can't even describe it. It's called Stop the Rock by a user named Real Quaka. So Real and then QWAQA. Watch it. It's so good. It's an experience.
Say less. I got it now saved on my YouTube. I was easy to find. I will watch it. Thank you.
Do it. That's my recommendation.
Thank you, Lookie. And you, Pooh?
I don't know if I have anything like I'm obsessed with, but I just finished watching the first season of, I think it's called Mashal. I don't know. Maybe it's Mashly. I don't know. And I finished the first season. Also, there's a motorcycle outside my house. Apologies. I finished the first season and then I started the manga and I'm on volume 7. I would not say this show is good.
Okay.
It is enjoyable. It is, I saw it described as if you took Asta from Black Clover and put him in Harry Potter, except I would add a caveat to that where Asta has no personality. It's just something to pass my time right now. I like one character in it. I find him intriguing because most of the characters you meet, they're this is my sad backstory, which is super shonen. One Piece does it too, but they're this is my sad backstory. And none of them have compelling sad backstories, except for the one character who we don't have a sad backstory for. We just find something out about them. And I'm oh, wait, I'm interested in learning more about you, actually. Except now I think I've learned all the things there are to know about them. So I don't know. But that's a thing I'm reading right now. It's fine. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's fine.
I'm so glad that we invited you on this. No, hold on. I'm so glad that we invited you on this platform so that you could advertise something you think is mid. Thank you.
Well, last time I was on this, I was really into Trigun, and I still really like Trigun, but I'm not going to re-recommend Trigun. So,
is there anything else? Tell us about a pet or the real world doesn't have to be
okay.
Nerd
well,
shit.
I can't tell you about my pet because she fucking ate my microphone, which is why I sound like ass right now.
Okay, I guess that's fair. Maybe it was a little too soon.
Yeah, she fucking ate it. I don't know.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She just nibbled on the wire. I was spending 30 minutes trying to figure out what was going on, and then I saw the littlest crack in the cable, and I was oh, that's what happened. She's fine. She went on to cause more havoc and lived her best life.
And binkies.
I don't know. What else am I really obsessed with? I guess, okay.
No. You gave your. Yeah. I'm taking the. I'm pulling the rug.
Okay.
You put it out there. We're fine. I'm just.
I think it's an
funny.
awesome thing to do with your time. You're hey, I gave you an awesome recommendation last time. It wasn't meant to be a recommendation. It's what I'm obsessed with. If you want to know what I'm obsessed with now, it's a mid-ass series called Mashal or whatever you pronounce it as. And you know what? That's okay.
That is technically okay, but I still will ostracize you for it all the same. Anyway, moving on to the next question. If you could request Oda change one thing about the story and he couldn't say no, what would you like to ask for? And it can be anything in the series, but I request that if it's something that is not covered in this season, that we potentially go I guess don't make it too obvious or whatever. Don't
so
be soft. Don't spit it out.
Yeah.
Just make it
don't be me.
I have
don't be Justin.
one thing that happens later. I just wish that Oda would be more consistent with character growth in how certain characters behave after having certain arcs.
Okay.
I just wish that he was more consistent with character growths actually having an impact. You could argue that maybe it did, but I would say not enough. That is all I will say.
I see. Okay. That's a very fair criticism. I think that's a catch-all for potentially even more than one character. But my guess is that I know which character you're talking about.
Yes.
What about you, Lookie?
I think Oda should make it clear that Sanji wears socks in his.
Perfect. Yes, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. It was low hanging fruit. I'm glad you did though. I really am.
Send me that the forum to write an SBS question again, so I can make sure this gets dealt with next issue.
All right. Yeah.
After you ask how snatched his waist is, though.
Yeah, I wish. Oh, that's my one thing. I wish Oda would actually put all of Nami's outfits, give them to Sanji. Just switch them up and give all of the suits to Nami. No. This is
I don't hate this.
Think about it. Give all the suits to Nami.
Okay.
Because her best fit, in my opinion. Okay, I can't say this because it's a spoiler, but
right. No,
I
know
don't
where
know
you're
which
going
one
with
you're
this.
An
talking
outfit
about.
isn't a
The one with the tie.
spoiler, right?
Yeah. That is objectively her best fit. Like, let's be real here. And I can agree with that.
But I do have other things like how some characters are written, but I feel like, the good outweighs the bad for me, so I wouldn't really change anything. Except for, some Sanji stuff, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah,
Someone already mentioned it in a previous cast.
That was my original one, but I got sniped by fucking Funky a month ago, so.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on then to the next question. What advice would you give to anyone picking up One Piece following the release of this adaptation?
Advice? Don't watch this adaptation.
That's a respectable opinion to have.
You know what? You know what's interesting? None of the people we've asked so far have had that take yet, and I've been waiting for someone to say it. Like, I wanted somebody to be like, "Don't watch." Well, I think Devin has said it, but he fucking hates everything. Don't watch this at all. Just ignore it entirely. Like, no one said that, but honestly, I don't think that's a wrong take. I think it just depends on like what you feel like you get out of the series or whatever. It has surprised me that it's taken this long for someone to say that, though.
Well, that's because we don't get asked the question, so
it's people are like, oh, it's a good way to get into story. I feel like it's such a different story and such a different. To me, the characters are so different that it's a different thing altogether. So like, I would just say, try the anime or the manga if whatever you feel like, and switch between them. Yeah.
So
that's all.
This is real advice that I have given to my friends who have started One Piece after watching the live action, which is remember that this is a shonen anime and there are certain gags and jokes in it that we probably don't like. You just have to get used to it or look past them. And if you're worried about the length, I recommend to read it. It's a lot faster. I can read a volume in like 30 to 45 minutes. So I would recommend reading it over watching it if the length makes you afraid. But also, sometimes it's nice to have something that's very long. Like, that's what got me into One Piece, was I wanted a show that would never end. And then I caught up to it in 3 months. So that didn't work very well because I wanted something I would like have a lot of backlog for. But it's nice. There are spoilers on the internet though. So do not.
Good luck.
Literally don't look up anything ever about One Piece. Ever.
Actually.
Yeah, just like run away, because
do not Google
internet is
character One Piece, because that spoiled me for a lot of things.
You will absolutely just get fucking annihilated with
You're gonna
spoilers
get hit with
immediately.
a random tweet from some random user, and it's gonna be the entire plot of the series.
Oh, I will.
You haven't reached yet.
Yeah, I will say though, I would recommend, speaking on that length, maybe if you're hesitant about it, get into it soon, because I know that when this series ends, we're gonna get a fucking Ash beat the whatever that happened last year in Pokemon when Ash finally became the world champion or whatever, and it was like everywhere. And I don't even watch Pokemon anymore, and it was everywhere, and it hadn't even come out.
Catch up now. You have plenty of time,
Yeah.
but not as much time as you think, because when we get to the end of One Piece, the entire world is going to tell you what it is.
Yes,
Myself included.
I won't be that guy, but I will certainly learn it very quickly.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our final question for our lovely guests. Is Shanks a terrible person for indoctrinating children into a life of crime?
Is he indoctrinating though? Is he what? I forget.
I mean, did you see the fucking guy? I mean, he walks up into a shipyard one day, and then he just like tricks this kid into becoming a fucking terrorist. So I mean, I don't know. He's kind of indoctrinating him, if we're going to be honest.
In the world of One Piece, I would say he's not a bad person for doing that. I mean,
oh man, what is this level-headed take, man? I'm just kidding.
I don't
know. But yeah.
I don't think he's a bad man for like indoctrinating people into a life of crime. I think he's a bad man for finding a bunch of children and being like, take this hat, please come find me. Like, I like to think he has like an army of these small children that like all want to grow up to be pirates with the same goal. And in my headcanon of this as his character trait, I think that is a bad thing, because he's just creating a lot of, he's a deadbeat dad to a lot of children who are probably in need of a father figure.
I'm just
so the
saying,
end of One Piece is going to be just a bunch of like I don't know, hundreds of kids just swarming around him.
It's gonna be
and
hundreds
like,
of
hey, I
Luffy
finally made it.
variants being like, I'm gonna be king of the pirates. No, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
I just imagine that like his dumbass, his Shanks rather, is like going around like all of the blues, like handing out a random straw hat that he just like makes like in his spare time, and then he always has a prosthetic arm that he always like, he makes this scene where he sacrifices a limb, and he's just waiting for the one fucking kid. He's just throwing caution to the wind, like maybe one of these kids will finally get there.
The Sea King is a paid actor.
No, I do believe he like gives out hats to children. And like,
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense that the Sea King is a paid actor. Like, if we're just removing, the obvious explanation, like it makes sense. He obeys Shanks. He's like, okay, that's my cue to leave.
he gave him the look, and then he's like, all right, I'm doing my
work here
part.
is done.
You better have my favorite food for me when I get done with this.
left arm.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I love
Circling
this.
back to
All
the
right.
first introduction, human flesh.
Exactly.
Oh my
That's
God.
his favorite food, left arm. That's the arm he loses, right?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
yes, I believe
Pickled.
it's left.
Can't confirm left arm.
And
Pickles.
pickled.
And pickled.
I hate it here.
Pickled
All right,
monster.
moving on. Patreon shoutouts. Twiggo is the number one goon, and he is the only number one goon as of now. Thank you, Twiggo, for being the lovely person that you are. Moving on to the grab bag. Ladies, would you like to grab something out of the grab bag,
Don't do
please?
It's always
Is
bad.
it dark and sandy in there?
Absolutely.
It is very dark and very sandy. I left Buggy's ear in it for you, just in
Yep.
case you grab that one.
Looky, I will let you take this one.
I kind of don't want to.
Okay, well,
Or-
one of you has to grab something out of the bag. Come
Well,
on.
you're already
Okay,
holding the bag. Just grab it yourself.
I'm
All
not.
right.
No, I'm. Our guests need to do. Yep, please, thank you.
All right.
And how's it feeling there?
I would say it feels like sand.
Yep. So that worked at least. So I'm glad for that. And make no mistake, that's all that's in there. Okay. Just do you like sand though? I worked really hard.
I
For
like
the sand in
sand.
it. All right, good. See,
It's
You don't
coarse
think it's
and
rough
rough
and coarse?
irritating.
Yeah. you don't think it gets everywhere?
I do feel like it gets everywhere right now.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Maybe.
what does the slip say? What does the slip?
All right. Career day.
Ooh, career day. Well, we're sort of at a problem though, where we only have 2 devil fruits to do these grab bags with, and we did Chop last week. We have already career dayed Luffy before, but I think since his only devil fruit is the only one left on the table, due to the fact that this season only has 2 devil fruit users,
Kind of
we're gonna
surprising,
career day.
actually.
We're gonna career day. The gum fruit for the second time. The first Redux. Woohoo!
I had no idea you
Uh,
guys career did this, so I apologize if I like subliminally stole ideas that I listened to and totally forgot about.
I
Bold of
still
you
think
to
my
assume
original
we
idea.
remember any of our original ideas.
My original idea is still, I think, the best idea, and it is construction worker because, like, you just are immune to
To OSHA
fall damage.
violations.
Yeah, you're immune to OSHA violations essentially.
So
No fall damage, and if you drop a tool, you can just reach and get it whenever you want. And if you need to go up to like the top of a skyscraper, gum rocket, baby, you're up there. Easiest shit of my life. I struggle to find anything better, but I will try. But I will throw that out there.
I will raise you elementary school gym teacher because Luffy could become a giant jump rope or
No, there's no way you're sniping this. There's no fucking way.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna let
Oh
you
man, you,
finish.
you
But
sniped
you
my
said a
boy
key
over here.
word that I'm like, there's no way.
Is that the end of your thought, Pooh?
Well, I was gonna say my main reason I came to this conclusion was he could become a giant jump rope and skip rope for all the kids because I remember doing that in elementary school. But then I
Oh.
also remembered he could blow himself up really big, so you could have a dodgeball fight with him. So I will say, I think he would be a great elementary school gym teacher.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
like where your
next
head's at.
because I can't believe I basically got sniped. I'd like everyone to think back to the year 2000 and something. High School Musical 1 or 2 just finished. Corbin Blue is trying to, become a breakout star from that franchise.
Oh gosh!
Uh-huh.
There is a little Disney Channel original movie called I don't remember the name of
Jump
it, but
in.
it's
It's
about
called Jump In.
Jump in.
Jump In.
Oh my
yes.
gosh! I can't
Oh
believe
my
Jump In is being
God.
discussed in
I
2023.
think
You just unlocked The most annoying fucking memory. How dare you?
Yeah, that soundtrack was awesome. So was that movie. And my career day choice was a professional double jump competitor because, like Poupée, the Gum Gum user could become a piece of rope. And I can't believe this isn't an original idea as of this recording, and I'm mildly upset about it.
Holy shit!
I'll go with my really bad backup plan B.
That was the 4. That wasn't even the backup. That was
my number one ace in the hole that I thought nobody else would ever think of. And so my backup here that I came up with like an hour ago is key copier. And so the way I envision this is you take a key, right? You press it into like let's say I'm a Gum Gum user. I press it into like my arm or some crap. My expectation is if like I hold my breath, I press the key into my arm, I'll leave an imprint of the key there as long as I hold my breath. And then I just pour in some like putty mold or whatever, and I have a copy of the key.
I love your second actually, because now you've just inspired me, dude. He could be a locksmith. You just literally stick your finger in any lock, like Elastic Man or whatever,
I was thinking
and
that,
unlock
but I
any
feel
door.
like that doesn't exactly match the Gum Gum fruit. Like Elastic people from like let's say Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man from DC would be like they can just freely change their shape in like any
right. But hear me out here. The reason why the Gum Gum fruit user in the show doesn't do this is because he's fucking stupid.
Well, I feel like it wouldn't work because his body will always stretch back to the shape of like his finger. So if you blow up your hand really big and like put it in the keyhole, maybe you have like a small second where it's like getting small enough and also fitting into the keyhole to like undo it. But it is going to shrink back to the size of his finger, which I guess maybe keyholes are small enough, but like it would still, the finger would be too big. But
wow, if I gotta take away my one.
Listen, I thought of the same thing, and I just assumed that's not how the power works. So we were on the same wavelength. I just shot it down in my own head.
Yeah.
I see. What about you, Lookie? You got anything?
I don't even think I got anything. I'm so bad at these. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
The only thing I can think of is like, I don't know. Maybe like something to do with video editing or like filming, because he can get these weird angles and do these crazy things.
They
you
would
could
be
do
the
that.
best wedding photographer.
Oh,
he
for
would
sure.
be a pretty fire wedding photographer.
You could be everywhere with that.
He could be like, how people put cameras on chickens because like their heads always stay like stable and they like use them as like tripods or whatever.
I did not know that. That is a fascinating fact.
He would be like the reverse of that, where it's like you want to get like one of those like really like long pan shots where they like hook a camera on a wire, except like you just put the camera on Luffy's head and then like chuck his head across the thing, and that's how you get your shot.
That's actually not a bad idea.
You could
that's
actually do
pretty
a
fire.
lot with that as a photographer. Yeah, you could do all the all these panning shots as well with the arm like stretching like slowly. If can you stretch slowly, like, or is it always a snap? That's fast. You could stretch.
Maybe if
sideways,
you
right?
Going out maybe could be slow-ish. The snap back is 100% like.
I think if you put
the camera is gonna break when we snap back.
Yeah,
just gotta firmly grasp it.
Yeah. Do you guys want to hear my backup? It's kind of gross.
I do want to hear it. Just don't make me like upset that I listened to it.
So, I don't know if you guys have ever watched NBC's Hannibal, my favorite show of all time, but sorry, what?
Oh, I was just
So there's a murder in that show where there are like orchestral people being murdered, and this was the inspiration for this. But I won't go into like what he does. But I think Luffy could be a bass player where he turns his body parts into the strings of the bass, and then he can like thump them, and like make the reverberation noises. Like if he like pulls his fingers really long, and then he's like a doom doom doom.
Oh, that's awesome! I like that.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
But the inspiration behind this was a scene in Hannibal, which, if you know what scene I'm talking about, pretty nasty.
I was just gonna say that now makes me very
aired
upset.
on NBC.
The idea.
I gotta go watch that now.
Best show in the whole world.
Hannibal is actually pretty good. Yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing.
Ryan Fuller directed it. That man has beautiful visions, and he brings them to light in such beautiful ways. He could have directed One Piece.
If I watch this, I get the feeling that I'm gonna have a very like dark view into like the way your mind works, and that's gonna scare me. I guess I have like a crappy backup. We could make him a DJ because like when he's like getting into it, he can like blow himself up and become like a ball that gets like passed around the audience. That'd be kind of fun.
He's the beach ball that gets passed around at Steve Aoki concerts.
Oh
Yeah.
Amazing.
He'd be the greatest crowd surfer, just light as a feather. Just throw him to the stage.
Well, like in my mind, you can't make a job just be crowd surfing. So I'm going to say they're a DJ. And then like when the mood strikes them, they become a crowd surfing beach ball.
That's pretty good. That's a good bit. That's a good gimmick to have.
Amazing.
Steve Aoki throws cakes at people. I could become a human beach ball. I like that.
I love it.
All right. Well, any other good ones? Any other last minute like throw-ins at the end there?
I still can't believe Poupée sniped me. This is incredible.
It's actually kind of wild.
Twice. One quote in my grab bag idea. This is insane.
All right, Justin, you want to plug our socials and then do.
Oh, actually, yes, I do, because there's something new to add to it. So thank you for listening to our episode tonight. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are on Twitter and Instagram at Panda Sightings. Just Panda Sightings. If you want to email us, we have an email at pandasightings@gmail.com. You can send us anything, basically. And we have a Patreon, where if you want to financially support the show, we would greatly appreciate it. We have 2 tiers, just one $5, quick and dirty, get whatever you want. And you could also become one of 3 total producers like Twigo over there. It's an absorbent amount of money, but if you're crazy like him, feel free to, send us some money. And a new thing that just recently got announced, if you follow us on Instagram and Twitter, we have officially opened a merch shop over on redbubble.com. We're currently just selling stickers. We got more ideas coming eventually one day. But the really cool thing about redbubble.com is that the service itself can take any of our sticker designs. Shout out to our community member Panda. Go follow her. Go find her socials. You'll see her. Anyway, redbubble.com makes stickers. They can put our sticker designs on like almost any other product they have available, and they have a pretty large array. They got pet bandanas, picture frames, pillows, water bottles, you name it, they probably got it. It's pretty wide array of things and options. And yeah, if you want to support us that way, so you can actually get something tangible in return, redbubble.com/panda sightings. Go check it out.
Hell yeah. And another huge thank you to our 2 guests that joined us this evening, Lordlook and Pooh. Would either of you like to plug any of your own social stuff before we close out for the evening?
No.
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 How about you, Lordlook? Please. If you don't do it, I'm going to plug your own damn YouTube. All right, you better plug yourself.
Well, yeah, I do have like a YouTube thing where I post like AMVs, One Piece stuff, and yeah.
They are anime
and
spoilers, as far as I remember.
It's all really good.
They're all
Please
amazing.
subscribe.
They're all
subscribe
amazing,
to her YouTube. She is very humble, but they're really fucking good.
Yeah, they're pretty mediocre, but
Lies.
Listen,
Lies.
you inspired
Really
Jordy, all right?
fucking good.
That's saying something.
I mean, that's not saying a whole lot. I mean, it is just Jordy after all.
Okay, he's got a couple.
I'm just kidding. Follow Lordlook on YouTube. They make fire AMVs. And I think that's it. And I'm going to run for my life because these people are fucking cannibals. And I'm not here for it.
Give me that leg.
I'm not giving you my leg. All right.
They just ordered up. All right. That's money going to waste. Come on. Don't waste food. Come on, bro. You have another one. You'll be fine.
It was my leg. No, they ordered the pickled one. You didn't pickle my leg.
Bro,
you can't
Zeff
take my
had a
leg. 'Cause
peg
it's not gonna
leg.
be
He's
pickled in
doing
time.
just fine. You don't need it, bro. Don't worry about it.
Okay, but you can't take mine because that's not what they ordered. They ordered the pickled leg. All right, my leg's not pickled.
We can pickle in 30 minutes. It'll be fine.
I'm okay with waiting.
No, not like this. No, get away from me. Don't take my leg.